Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hiya.
And look what the cat dragged in. Sean Bell.
I'm very poorly, thank you very much.
I mean, yeah, you probably were poorly, but James showed up Wednesday night to do the video thing because he knew it was less effort.
That is ridiculous.
Right,
like,
do we do this now? Should we do it like?
Yeah,
should
go
we do it
on,
now?
because this is ridiculous, right?
Into it.
I thought, okay, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling quite a lot better now. I want to help out and I want to be on the show. So what's wrong with that?
No, you're not helping out being on the show. It's
What are you
part of the
talking
fucking
about?
job. Right, here's the problem that I had last week. Oh,
Go on,
guys,
here
can
we
we
go.
move to Tuesday? Can we move to Tuesday? Yeah, we'll move to Tuesday. I don't want to do it now. Brilliant.
That is not what happened at all. That is completely
Okay,
not
what
what
happened?
happened.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
So
What
first of
did
all,
happen?
okay, let's think about this, right? First of all, you said like, oh, I don't think I can do the show on Monday. I'm feeling, not great because we haven't had any sleep and all that kind of stuff. And then,
Yeah, when child was in hospital. Yeah.
yeah, and then you came
Yeah,
back
yeah,
on.
Go on, Jay.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is what is the point? You've
Go
already
on.
decided what you think about stuff, and it's like you just want to dig me out on the fact that I was feeling ill, and why I'm allowed to be ill sometimes. It does happen.
No. The problem I had was how you moved the recording to Tuesday.
I
night
didn't.
so
No,
that
I did
can
not
be
do
on
that. I didn't do that. That was not even my suggestion. If you look back at the stuff, I never even suggested that as being
Yeah,
as
it
being
was
an
originally
option.
my suggestion.
It was
'cause-
Matt's, not me.
Right, okay. So maybe I'm being harsh then. Maybe I am being harsh. If you were ill on the Monday and then they decided to move to Tuesday and then you were on the Tuesday, I think maybe it's Sean that I should be angry at.
Well, what have I done wrong?
You were supposed to do it on Monday, then you moved it
Yeah,
to
I was.
Tuesday, and then I ended up doing it and you didn't.
Yeah, no, I felt genuinely really shit about it.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. I was really good.
No, you
I
didn't.
really wanted to
No,
do the
no,
episode.
no
Started. I had
chance.
loads to talk about, and I was because on the Monday I was like a bit ill, but you generally the cadence of an illness is like it's fucking awful the first day, and then you gradually recover. Whereas this
Yeah.
got gradually worse for a few days before
Have
it
you
peaked.
noticed that you
So-
count that shit way more when you get older as well?
Yes.
Like when you were a kid, it was like it didn't matter how many days it was. But
Yeah,
like,
you just got ill.
no.
Whereas now I'm like, I've had 4 days of this. What the fuck is going on?
do you do that thing with the people around you as well? If they're ill at the same time, you're like, well, you started feeling ill a day before me. So how do you feel now? So I know how I'm going to feel
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Because we're exactly
All
the
that
same.
shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I felt very upset because I needed a week off last week and I ended up doing a show with just Matt. But I think we did really well, Matt. I'm really proud of our performance. And I think at some point this year, as punishment, James and Sean should do an episode together, just the two of them.
Have we done that before, Sean? I'm sure
No,
I've
we
done.
haven't. Well, that's what made me laugh because on the Monday, for about 5 minutes, it looked like it might just be me and James,
Yeah.
and then by
Yeah.
Tuesday, it completely.
Yeah,
Completely
flipped around. But we should say like if you're gonna do that, there's no Star Trek chat. Like that is off limits. Yeah.
Also, James has to drive this stream because the stress of me doing that as well. It's like I haven't done it for so long, and I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, okay, it's just me and Dave, that's fine. And hours later, I'm like, oh shit, hang on, that means I got to do the stream as well. And I suddenly had to remember how that worked, and then obviously there's some technical hitches, but it mostly worked. So.
Okay, so thank you is what you should be saying, James.
Yeah.
If anything.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
maybe.
Okay. Why have I got to say thank you? Why doesn't Sean say thank you?
Yeah, Sean can say thank you if he
Yeah,
wants.
why?
thank you.
Why are you
Well,
targeting
cheers,
me?
lads. I
again?
felt even
know?
worse when the Patreon payment came in. It's like, oh, I don't even have to do anything. This is fantastic.
Okay, we'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers this month. They are. Could you imagine if this is your first episode? Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights and Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Tom S, Stan, Philip with an F, Fred Fenge, John the Nelsmeister Nelson, Ryan Cabane, Stephen Littler, and a new full Nels member. You ready for this? Happy birthday, Vituki.
Happy
You're the
birthday,
golden-
Vituki.
Happy birthday,
Whoever you might be.
Vituki.
I'm sure I've seen that name around before. That's
Have you?
definitely part of the community. This isn't some
Oh yeah,
mistake.
for sure, yeah.
I'm sure I've
Well,
seen it
Vituki.
in streams. Yeah.
Vituki, I hope you have a fantastic birthday. We'll be saying that for the next 4 weeks or so. So,
Have they
happy
paid for a
birthday
year?
to you.
They might pay for a year. Depends how much they love
Some
you.
birthday
Vijay.
It's happened before. And we also have a very special message this week for one of our Patreon producers, and that's Gasman, who's had a baby.
Yeah.
After 2.5 years of fertility treatment purgatory, you now have a little bundle of joy, and you will go, Jesus, what did I?
Well,
What
but
did I think was going to happen?
He says he's having a great time. So he's got one of
Does
those
he?
nice babies that I've heard so much about.
Yeah, but that's all right for honestly, 2 weeks is great. 2 weeks is great. It's when they start becoming conscious. That's when that's when it does my nutting. It's hard work, but enjoyable all the same. Gasman, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Me and Jill also gone through loads of fertility treatment, and so we know what it's like. So amazing news. Congratulations.
Also, if you could get them a phone as soon as possible and get them downloading, because it all helps towards the numbers.
Start their Patreon account now, I reckon.
Yep.
Patreon.com/TCGS. We did a talks over last week for Nintendo's E3 show 2010, which if you started watching it and going, fucking hell, this is a terrible E3 show, stick with it to the end, because out of nowhere they announced the 3DS. We had no idea they were doing that. We thought, God, we're walking into one of the most boring streams of all time, and then they announced the 3DS out of nowhere, and I was like, holy shit. So that was
great.
pretty good. With a surprise, a surprise way of presenting the new console that we weren't really expecting.
They probably
old school.
They probably thought it was innovative at the time, but probably wasn't.
No, it's actually quite offensive, isn't it? So if you want to see that, then stay to the end of that stream. Right, that's enough for Patreon. Let's get to the feedback, Matt, from last week's show. They all love it, did they? They all fuming.
Whoa.
We get to say something, right?
Get their feedback from. You remember Sean and James who do the show with us sometimes.
We don't usually do that for guests, though, do we? I think that's
a good point. Yeah, so we'll do it. Are we good every time Sean LeBeau comes on? It's
Oh, come on, Sean's got a list. You can tell.
It's not a list. It was just a comment for Dave. Not that I'm picking on you, Dave. I just feel like Matt's insanity last week kind of spoke for itself. Just dealt with at the time.
Slightly better this week.
No, you mentioned that Helldivers 1 was completely different to Helldivers 2. It's
only in gameplay.
It's basically the same, other than it being top down. It's like everything else is.
Right. Okay. So I never played it, but watching it just looked like a twin stick shooter. Is that not the case?
No, it's like in terms of the feel of it and the stuff you actually do. Like it's got all the stratagems and stuff, all the different enemy types. Like it's really similar.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I thought it was taking something like, I don't know. Like, like GTA 2 to GTA 3. Like, that's what it felt like when I looked back at Helldivers 1. When did Helldivers 1 come out? Was it a while back?
It was.
What console was it on?
Well, I mainly played it on the Vita
Atari.
of all things. So it was mainly a Vita and PS3 game, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Was it any good? Did you play a lot of
it? Was, yeah. Played quite a lot of it. That's why I was so excited for the new one.
Right, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going back to it. The new one's out. But,
no, I'm not saying no. You should play the first one. It's just as good.
Sounds like it. All right, okay. I didn't know it was that close. Is that all you had?
That basically, yeah. It was really enjoyable though. I do like a 2-manner.
We've only done 2 of them, haven't we?
Yeah, we should do more.
You and then me and Matt. I've got to do.
I think I should have another week off.
I swear I've done one with just me and Matt or something.
I mean, that was Interface, James.
Oh, well, yeah. Apart from that one, yeah.
Go on, James. What have you got?
Well, in terms of feedback, I mean, I really enjoyed the Helldivers 2 chat a lot. I thought it was great, really interesting, and it made me.
Why haven't you bought that game yet? Just buy that game.
It's
so
no
fucking
to play
good.
it with. That's why.
Yes,
but I thought your crew.
We're your friends.
Yeah. Yeah,
no, we're not. No, we're not his friends. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is it. That was it.
To be fair, Dave, we haven't managed to play a single game together yet.
No, but this is what's quite interesting, right? Is that although we're all good friends, right, and when we play, like, we talk all day long and send messages and all this sort of stuff. We send messages to each other, which you can do now on your telephones.
Digital ones.
Yeah. We all, like, when we come together and play games together for the stream and stuff, it's great. But we don't really play with each other online, do we? So it is kind of weird. James has got his Friday night crew,
Yeah.
that I used to be a part of, but then I think they just wanted to
Got
limit
kicked
it
out.
to 4.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's,
Balatro as
Just
well.
because of your political opinions, Dave.
pushed to one
They-
side. Well,
kick
no,
you out.
James is. I don't know if I could say this because I think they
Oh,
might
no,
listen. But
probably
James is
don't.
fuming that they're all on the Xbox One,
Yeah.
like the Xbox One
One. Yeah,
launch
yeah, yeah.
era
Like
Xbox
launch
One.
era Xbox Ones.
He's
That
How
is out of
slow
order.
must their consoles be?
Yeah, it
Jay-
is a bit limiting at this point. It's,
Yeah. I can imagine.
Sean's got all of his industry chums. So I think he's
Well,
well,
no, 'cause I think
about what I can.
The problem with me and you is that yours is always like last minute, spur of the moment, isn't it? Like, oh, I'm playing now. Do you want to do this? Whereas we
Yeah,
like
pretty
my
much.
lot always pre-plan it.
Oh yeah, no, we
See,
don't
so-
pre-plan. We're
Mm.
basically on every night, and if you're not on,
Mm.
then you get a load of abuse. Like, it's horrible.
or if you are on, you get load of abuse. It's
Yeah, it's a tough crowd. And then Matt just doesn't play games, so it's
Yeah.
it is.
Easy in it.
I feel they're for losers.
Do you know what? I was looking for your a picture of your character from EAFC, Matt, so that I can put it in the group with that noise. What is that? It's the unknown. I was going to put that over the top of it in the WhatsApp group when Matt finally shows up for a game of EAFC. Yeah, okay, that's our situation. So what were we saying? Where did that go? Where did
that was
start?
Helldivers 2. I mean, the only other thing I wanted to talk about, but I
Okay.
don't know if I want to because Matt was really on edge for like most of the show last week. I really got the impression he was on edge, and
Oh yeah,
He
he was.
I mean,
worried
he
about
was
the
on a lot
stream.
of painkillers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I was on the painkillers and probably hadn't had much sleep, and then I was also like stressing that the stream wasn't going to work.
there's
Yeah,
that,
he
and
was freaked out
also
about the stream.
I kind of got the impression that you were like worried that David was going to pounce at any moment as well on stuff.
No,
And so-
that is
you
you.
think?
No
I actually
way.
thought
That
that-
wasn't
I think
that
that's you
vibe at all.
projecting, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
I just felt quite
Yeah.
relaxed. It's quite a nice, relaxed
How
conversation.
fucking dare you, James? How? When do I ever unnecessarily pounce on anyone? You prick! You utter prick!
I've got to say, on the subject
isn't
of panicking that the stream is not going to work. For those listening to the podcast, I knocked up like a new layout for these streams today, and it looked absolutely fine when I was editing it earlier. And my monitor's just gone to like night mode, so it's all a bit orangey, pinky purpley, and I'm seeing all sorts of fucking problems with it now, and it's driving me insane. I'm very close to just opening Photoshop and fixing it while we do the show, but it might
Please
crash
don't do
OBS.
that.
I just wanted to get that out there. I'm going to shut up about it and not think about
Oh,
it.
are
at all.
you worried about the slightly darker grey bit around that? I'm looking at it now. Are you?
Yeah, you
worried
can see
about-
where it's
Right,
all
okay, we
slightly.
can't-
Yeah, that's
absolutely
patch
ruined
it.
to be white.
sure.
Oh, that looks fucking.
Let's stop the pod.
Messy.
Let's quit. Let's
Text
stop the lot.
hanging off the end. Right, okay. Let's go. Let's go. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I didn't. I mean,
Well,
yeah. it's
He didn't
fine.
really listen to it, is what he's about to say.
no, of course he fucking didn't. Feedback from the real people, Matt.
Yeah, Phil has messaged, great show, lads. Always better having some sort of show rather than nothing, even if it's just a confirmation that Matt's still alive.
It's damning with faint praise, isn't it?
Just
Yeah,
about.
could you
I mean,
imagine
there
if that's a
technically
genuine
was an
concern?
episode, so you can't say that there wasn't.
Yeah,
That's
proof
the-
of life.
Yeah, yeah, but confirmation that Matt's still alive. Do you mean Phil sits there every week? Hello, my name's David Turr. Welcome to the Computer Game Show. I'm here with Sean Bell, and he's like, oh no, with James Farley. Oh no, and Matt Murray. Phew.
Thought he was actually dead this time.
And Matt dead.
No, I'm going
Right,
to
go
the
on.
poison work this week.
Not this week.
Go on.
Fongo Bongoloid's message. Hey, just a quick note to say I really enjoyed the changes you made to the show last week. It felt breezy and streamlined in a way I can't quite put my finger on, like an airship jettisoning the dead weight of its ballast. You soared to new podcasting heights. Whatever you did, keep it up.
I want to.
Thank you
I mean,
for
Fongo.
that, Mr.
Bloody want to.
Bungaloid.
I'll tell you what you didn't do, which was read beyond the headline. You know, like during the
yeah,
news.
that's covered. I had a lot of painkillers.
I think that's
yeah,
the
I'm
dead
sure
weight
you're aware.
that
Not sure if
Fungo's
you
talking
remember
about.
I think he would have if he had more notice that you weren't going to show up.
Well, I did provide him with all the notes, but you know, he's still couldn't do that, yeah.
yeah, okay.
I think the
I've
news
got
is okay, actually, although someone slagged me off. I think someone in his feedback slagged me
Someone
off in
slagged you
the
off?
news.
There was some. No,
There's
I
not-
thought the news was really good.
There's nothing worse than being off for a week and hearing good feedback come in. That's genuine. I hate that.
Well, that's
When
not
I'm
happening,
off,
so
I
don't worry
want
about it.
no feedback whatsoever, please.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have a go at the others. and I
Oh,
don't
I
want
do.
you to. I don't want you to say it was good because that means I'm better off not being here.
No. When I'm not here, I want everyone to go, "Oh, that was dreadful. Bring back Dave. What's the point in this without him?" That's what I
Golden
wanna hear.
age has returned. Right,
Yeah.
Tony
Stop saying that.
Crimes with a Z. Another great show. Can't wait for Shadow of the Erd Tree. Cyberpunk's inclusion in the Gotti show last year sets the stage for Elden Ring to be included and win this year.
No, it doesn't
that
though,
does
does it?
break one of the rules. One
Yeah,
of
'cause
the
Elden Ring's
very
already
few
been in.
rules that we've got is that you cannot submit a game, right?
Yeah.
You can't
But
nominate a game
if
that's
we
already been
submit
nominated.
just the Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC, then that's fine.
That would be
I mean,
fine.
let's be real. None of us are completing it.
I'm not
so-
playing.
What? We might do. It's unlikely.
Yeah,
No.
Matt and James might.
Oh yeah, you both finished the
Prince
base
made
game,
one,
didn't
yeah.
you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Absolute madmen.
Not gonna play
Yeah.
this time.
Got to like hour 110 and was like, "There's about another 50 now," and I
I
can't
know.
do it.
I know.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll start playing games again at some point.
That'd be nice.
Colin, read Tingus Goose. I love you, Sean, but for the love of God, play a real game for once. I'm begging you. They aren't bad, you know. God of War, Elden Ring, anything. Just try them. You're all great. Love you all. Take care. Sincerely from Colin. P.S. Just realised I spelt Sean's name wrong. My point still stands though. Honestly, I'm sure the lads can get you onto a game with a real name instead of playing things like Blimpy's Great Adventure through the Mind Portal 7.
Is right. Shut up, Colin. Is
I
everything
think
all
we're all
right?
with it.
I've
Yeah.
played God of War and Elden Ring and talked about them.
You haven't played God of War,
Yeah,
have
I've
you?
Yeah,
Played
played a
about-
bit on
played
deck.
about an hour of it on the Steam Deck.
Oh my
Um,
fucking god! You've only played an hour of it on the fucking stick. Oh mate,
Yeah.
that's
all right.
sickening.
Yeah, but he's playing
No.
Blimpy's Great Adventure, isn't he? So it's like.
That game is incredible, and you would love
What,
it. if
Blimpy's
you
Great
play-
Adventure?
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just-
I played that. I played that fucking game, the one where it drops
Tingus
stuff.
Goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything.
Yeah,
for
good
me. Well, it was weird. It was like I would tap the baby as it's falling, and it went $20, but then that wouldn't go onto my account. So I was like, well, what am I tapping
it?
it for? No.
Oh,
That was
oh,
in
that's
app
good.
purchase.
That's it.
Right. I spent.
Yeah, it's coming out of your
$20.
bank account, Dave. That's.
Oh God, Charlie,
Colin, just
before
calm down, mate. Some things you haven't heard of before, and that's fine. What
Yeah,
I don't know what you
Colin.
want me to say. I don't...
Sean never got Snappy before.
Well, as mentioned before the show, I've been off my meds for about a month and a half now. So it's...
Snappy Sean.
yeah,
We're all on Snappy Sean. Now there's the episode title. Write it down. Next.
Taylor Tetow, speaking of Sean, have you ever noticed that when Sean thinks he's made a particularly good point, he sniffs afterwards?
hey Taylor, fuck off.
Yeah, that's the cocaine.
Look,
Yeah, that's why I can make my best points is when I'm on the.
It is
on the
funny
pink
what people
powder.
can pick up on. The thing is, I'm going to be listening out for that now. I'm going to be listening out for it. Yeah. Okay. Good spot.
Yeah, Anonymous just wanted to draw attention to Harry repeating something constantly until it becomes annoying. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it, David?
That's what Joe said. That is exactly what Joe said when he was walking around singing that song over and over again. She just went, "It's you, it's you. This is what I have to deal with all the time. Brush your teeth, comb your hair." No, all right, cool. Don't want to go through that again.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to do some live editing on this one. Horace, last week I was dealing with a lot of work-related issues. Truth be told, the only way I can describe it is to say I was having an absolute of a week. Please ensure you use of a week to describe my last week as it was. So when it came to 9 p.m. Friday, without knowing beforehand to see that James was streaming was a very welcome surprise. Whether or not it should be a surprise is another story. It shouldn't. I expect better from the admin. I was busy. Colin. Going into the stream, I was immediately called Horace instead of my actual name, which is literally my username. I was then told that the name Horace suited me. Then he in the chat, mainly Chod, decided to talk about me as if I wasn't there. By this point in my week, which was an absolute cunt of a week, by the way, my brain
Yes, I missed that one.
I've messed that one up.
Yes. Yeah, a
Damn.
little bit.
I felt almost delirious. I just want to wholeheartedly thank James for doing the stream. He might not realise it because he's too busy being a professional gamer, but listening to James wax lyrical about Chinese history, then try and welcome a TLNA raid while having a mouthful of biscuits
Oh no, you didn't
Made my
tell me
week
about this.
a lot better. Even when he thinks he's being boring or worried that there's not much progress happening in his gameplay, that's not why I watch. We watch for you, James. It helps us, especially when we're having a of a week, like I was. Also, the news segment was atrocious about James, embarrassing even. I will not divulge further. Hopefully, James already has with his feedback. Thank you once again, James. Appreciate you all. Love,
Oh,
Horace.
that's
It
nice.
doesn't say appreciate you all, it just says appreciate you, James.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does not
Yeah,
appreciate
Jesus.
y'all.
That's nice, isn't it, James?
It is. I'd like to thank Horace for that. It's really nice feedback. I appreciate that.
Right, that's a great response.
A
What
bit.
happened with the TLNA raid? You are the worst person to handle raids, aren't you? It's,
No, because it was
always
just
throws
that
you off a bit.
I just
did you roll your ankle again?
no, I just started eating some fancy biscuits,
Right.
and just as that happened, they appeared.
Whoa.
Can we talk about
Okay.
biscuits, please?
Well,
Well,
this is the
yeah.
thing,
I mean,
they,
what do you class as a fancy biscuit? What is
well,
that?
See, they weren't
For me, it's
particularly
Fox's,
fancy
right?
either. I mean,
Oh, Fox's creams, hell yeah.
I thought that they were going to be fancy biscuits, but it turns out they weren't particularly fancy biscuits, and they were a bit boring. And yeah, but either way, I mean,
Yeah, but what were
Details,
they?
man.
Why are you
No,
being
'cause
so
I can't-
weird about this?
no, they're like these ones. You see, when my sister came and
why
visited
why
me.
is this such a hard fucking question?
Is this
Sean?
going to
What is
result in
going
you
on
can't
here?
get biscuits in Germany?
No, the reason. Fuck's sake.
We just
Biscuit
asked
is
him what
beach
type
balls.
of biscuits he had,
Yeah, I
Dave.
know.
What's
I
going
know,
on?
he's having a
The
meltdown.
problem is, I don't know what they're called.
You don't get it. You don't live here, Matt.
You'll never understand. Okay, we'll
To all
describe the
those
biscuits.
Also, to all those people that sent me messages about places to buy Valentine's Day cards past 5 o'clock in Germany, please, thank you so much. We can't go into it here, but yeah, no, it's been great bit of feedback. Thanks, everyone. Go on, James.
So these biscuits were brought to me by my sister who came to visit, and I thought in my mind I made a mistake because when I
Welcome to the computer game show.
when I first saw like the box for them, I thought that they were those like commemorative like King Charles ones or something for as like a joke, like those ones
Right,
that you can
right.
get, right?
No, I don't know which ones you can
The ones
get.
you can
the
get.
commemorative King Charles ones.
The commemorative King
Biscuit.
Charles
Why are
biscuit.
we doing
No,
this?
we didn't have that sort of upbringing, James.
Because you'll be. Yeah, we had broken biscuits from the milkman, which is basically half a bonbon. Bourbon. What? Come on.
But anyway, I
Was
thought
it a-
that they were
what, do you
those,
mean
like-
a shortbread?
Yeah, like I thought they were like the novelty ones that were like, like for the coronation or whatever. But then I realised when I picked the tin up that it wasn't. It was like they were from Copenhagen, and it was just boring. Yeah.
Right, I've genuinely never given a shit about where the biscuits come from. Like, that is, you're right. That is middle class. That is,
No, but I
that
don't
is
care
middle
where
class.
they came from. I'm just explaining. I
Well,
don't
you
know
seem-
what I'm explaining.
I don't. You say you don't care where you come from, but all you've described this biscuit from is where it came from. That's the only sort of explanation you've given.
No,
about
because
this
I thought
biscuit.
that they were going to be funny novelty ones, and it turns out they weren't.
They're just regular biscuits.
And if there's no novelty, that affects the taste, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's
I don't
novelty
know
attached.
What the fuck you're talking about, James? I genuinely don't know what the last 5
Neither
minutes.
do
has
I.
been
That's
about.
why I don't want to
Can we
go
move
down
on?
this path. I didn't
Well,
want to
we're
do
on the
this.
path now.
Don't be so
And it's covered in
fucking weird
crumbs.
about biscuits. Then
I didn't want to do this, and then you forced me to do it, and it went badly.
I just want to see you crumble. Come on.
Get out. And yeah,
Either way,
Okay.
they weren't very good, and I started eating them, and then Ian showed up with a raid, and my mouth was full of biscuits, and it went wrong.
Whatever.
There you go.
I need to see that clip.
don't
That sounds like
care
a great
anymore.
clip.
Does
If
sound
the
good.
rake comes in, it's like, oh, sorry, everyone, everyone, commemorative King Charles biscuits. Right,
We need to
Philip,
just prepare James a video for when people raid, so that he can just play that. He's got 30 seconds. It introduces us all,
Yeah.
and then goes back to James, and he's ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right, Philip,
had
dear
enough
the
of this.
TCGS crew, I've been watching Sean's hilarious stream of RimWorld recently and James's excellent Dark Souls 3 streams, and I've enjoyed them both so much that I've in fact gone and picked up both games on PlayStation Store. Then it got me thinking,
Influencers.
If I ended up buying the games of just what you guys stream all the time, I will be broke before I know it. In conclusion, then, if you could all politely not stream video games anymore, that would be very much appreciated, as I do have a 6-year-old to raise, and as we all know, they're very expensive, and a partner, and we all know how that goes. And I feel like there should be a bit more responsibility and duty of care on your part.
Sorry, I
people
don't know
like
what
me.
that meant, Philip. That bit. I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, I was a
And a
bit off.
partner, we all know how that goes. No, we don't, mate. Sorry.
A bit more responsibility and duty of care of all your part for people like me who clearly have a problem. Joking aside, I would very much like to say a big, massive thank you to all your hard work. Your podcast readers make the daily grind that much easier. Keep up the good work. Kind regards from Phil.
Nice one.
Cheers, Phil. I'll make
Thanks.
sure to stream some absolutely shite games coming up.
Yeah, some free ones.
Yeah.
Just do that. Yeah, just do some free ones. That'll do it, won't it?
See, this is why I stopped streaming for Phil.
Yeah, save him a few quid.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do my bit. You know.
I mean, I'm also happy
Right,
to
isn't
oblige.
you stopped
you know.
streaming because people were making fun of you in the chat?
Wow, let's not go into. We might have been.
We need to bring the truth into it, Dave. You
not
just
mention
mentioned-
that.
sorry.
Sorry,
I thought we. Sorry, I thought you'd just forgotten.
Let's not
Um,
mention that. That is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/dear tcgs. Leave your feedback.
let's do the news. It says Matt next to news. I think he's trying to.
Uh-oh.
He's trying to.
Taking over the show.
Yeah.
James. what have you got
Yeah.
for us?
James
So-
was just hoping Matt would do it. He's like,
Yeah,
just leave this
yeah.
here.
Just leave that.
That's
there.
all right. I mean, he'll just sit there and just read the articles verbatim from Eurogamer. I mean,
I know
not
we
so-
shouldn't be talking about
That
stuff
we've
on
been doing for
cam,
like
but
7 years.
it's not, Matt, because I usually paraphrase them at least. It's like
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Look forward to the paraphrasing now.
Okay, let's go. He's rolled his sleeves
Paraphrase
up. Let's
this.
Oh
go.
my god, it's business time.
Paraphrase this.
yeah. It's not a visual podcast, Matt. It's they can't see that. Anyway.
Oh, sorry, that's tickled me.
So there's been further. I mean, this is not funny. There's been further industry layoffs this month. So we've had EA have cut 5% of their workforce. Deck 9 have cut 20% of its staff. 505 Games have shut down offices in France, Germany, and Spain. Wildlife Studios have cut 21% of their staff, and Cloud Imperium have also been hit with layoffs. So yeah, these are all still pretty awful. I mean, for EA, they've lost like around 670 people, which is quite a lot. And they've also talked about the fact that they're going to shift away from talking about or from making like licensed games in the future, and they're just going to focus on like their own IP, sports, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's wild in other ways. I mean, the fact they've got Black Panther in development. They've got Iron Man. They've had all the Star Wars games. I mean, they failed to ship some Star Wars games, but they generally have been doing better with their Star Wars properties, and now it's going to pull away from all of that. It's just I feel like that's what they're moving into.
Surely, I mean, if you could choose to in 2024 make a Star Wars game or a Marvel one, I know which property I'd bet on. Seems
Marvel,
weird,
right?
but then nah,
I don't know at this stage.
No?
Yeah.
no one can be asked for
like,
Marvel stuff anymore. It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, but Star Wars is shit as well now, isn't it?
Yeah, but Star Wars is at least sort of continuing in other interesting ways. And
What's good? What's good now?
Star Wars,
No, what is
Chips?
good now? Like you
Chips.
had
Oh,
Star
nothing.
Wars,
Yeah,
that was
nothing.
really
There's
good,
nothing
and
left.
then the fucking Phantom Menace happened.
Dune.
yeah, June.
Mm.
Okay, I've not seen that. We should probably give a shout out to Chris Dring from Eurogamer, who wrote an interesting
Yes.
article about what's going on. Sean sent it to me. I couldn't read it because that fucking website's a joke at the moment. And honestly,
know.
it is like, honestly, you look at it and you just think, fucking hell, this looks like it's hacked. The amount of adverts that are popping up all over the place and covering up text, and you have to get rid of. It's like
And
you're trying
obviously-
to
and
watch
we
an illegal
know-
stream of Chelsea match. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking nightmare. Go on.
And we
sorry
know
about
that no one likes that, right? No one who works on Eurogamer is like, this is brilliant. This is a good number of adverts that everyone
It's
wants
a great
to see.
experience for
It's-
everyone.
yeah, like it's a necessary evil, but yeah, it's rough. But yeah, Chris String has
Scroll
written
down
this.
one and it's fucking. It just puts a video up at the top right hand corner. It's just awful website. But apparently, it's an interesting article from what
It
I've
is. It's just a really good summary of what's happening, why it's happening. So if you've been sort of tuning out every week when we get into the layoff stuff, it's like definitely check it out because it's just sort of encapsulates what's been going on in a very sort of Chris String is like he knows what he's talking about, but he's a numbers guy, and he's very like he's just explaining it from like a business perspective, and obviously he does put the caveat in that like you are more than correct to be upset about this. Like the human cost is unbelievable, but he just spells it out in a very matter of fact way. It's well worth a read. Yeah.
Right.
So on the EA thing, does this mean we should expect Titanfall 3? That's their own IP. That's not licensed.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's maybe gone, right? Oh no, that's their own license. You're right. Sorry. So there was going to be a Star Wars FPS.
There was going to be a Star Wars FPS, yeah, which has been cancelled now. That Respawn were going to work on. So
I mean, that's heartbreaking, right? Because I know we've had our problems with Jedi Fallen Order and Outcast. Was it Outcast? No, fuck. What was the first one called? No, first one was Fallen Order. New one was Survivor.
Second one was Survivor. Yeah.
But they get Star Wars, right? They just don't necessarily get 3D Metroidvanias. Which is fine. Like, so let them do a Star Wars FPS. Fucking hell! Like, surely
especially
that would have been
behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, surely that would have been incredible. But
I mean, EA apparently are committed to a third. To make that a trilogy. Like, there is going to be another.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, Jedi Go. But they're just.
I hope they get it right this time. Jesus.
The last one was good. It wasn't bad.
It was okay. It was still full of problems and bugs.
I was going to say, I feel like design wise, they get it now. It's just the polish, right?
There was that whole thing, wasn't it, where you couldn't play it in 60 FPS, because it was a jerky mess and awful. But then it was better when you played in 30. It's strange.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Should we move on to other news, or do you want to stay with this?
Let's move on.
Go on.
Okay, so GTA 6 developers are annoyed about Rockstar's decision to return to the office full time. So they've been told that they need to return to the office 5 days a week now that GTA 6 is in the final stretch of its development. And so Rockstar have said this is largely because of security and productivity reasons. Presumably, they think this is going to be able to stop them from material being leaked. But the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain has criticised Rockstar for this, saying that they're withdrawing like the remote working provisions for the majority of staff, and that this was against former sort of agreements that have been made. And an anonymous employee, this is from Eurogamer, said, after so many broken promises, we now fear management may be paving the way for a return to toxic crunch practices. Senior leadership need to rethink their reckless decision-making and engage with their staff to find an arrangement that works for everyone. Because that seems to be one of the key concerns here, is that by bringing everyone back to the office, that's understandable maybe to a degree, but then it's like, is this also so that then they can control and there'll be more crunch going on with GTA 6?
Yeah.
But we have no idea if that's going to be the case. But that's one of the things that employees seem to be concerned about.
I think if
and
they
how many? Sorry, go on, do.
If they've had previous agreements for working from home and they're changing that,
you
don't understand how much that affects like people's lives if they're committed to working in a certain way and then suddenly changing it because it suits the company. Well, that's pretty fucked up.
And that's what, because according to Eurogamer, another employee said that there was no consultation on this either. Like they just it just sort of happened. And as I said, I mean, one of the quotes was, "This will mean missing out on spending time with our families." Adding that there are colleagues who have health issues preventing them doing full-time office work who are now left in limbo. But also one of the other things is, I mean, working in a studio which is obviously a global studio that has connections all over the world, it meant that staff were still taking meetings or whatever outside of normal working hours. But if you can do that from home, that's a lot easier than if you're having to come to the office to do that kind of thing. And this is another aspect with this.
Yeah, it's hard to really talk about and go into when we don't know the sort of the finer details of the contracts, what's been agreed, what hasn't, what colleagues are being asked to do, what staff are being asked to do. But you can't imagine it's good. And as I said, like little changes in the way that people work out of nowhere can have such a massive impact on people's lives without them knowing. I mean, I've said several times before, I don't like working from home. I like working in the office. I couldn't wait to get back in the office, even through the pandemic between the lockdowns, I was like, yep, I'm going to work in the office. I want my own space. I want my own. I hate the idea of my workspace being where I live. Like I
Same.
hate that. Like
Yep.
you know, but everyone's different, and that's the thing. And you can use the argument, well, it wasn't like this before the pandemic, as much as you want, but we're not before the pandemic anymore. Things happen and lifestyles change, and we are 4 years after all that shit kicked off at this point, and you can't just go back to what it was before because that's not how it works. As much as you want it to, because you saw it as productivity going up or whatever. I find it actually I do actually find this quite surprising as well, because there was what worried me a lot was after the pandemic. I don't know about you guys, but after the pandemic, there was a lot of chat about, oh no, actually, businesses save a hell of a lot of money by letting staff work from home because they're not paying for large office spaces, they're not paying for electricity and heating and this, that, and the other. And actually, working from home is probably going to be a big thing in the future. And something changed, and I find that really interesting, because the narrative was very much big firms don't want to go back to the office, to suddenly now big firms want everyone back in a fucking office. It's yeah, I don't
think-
know.
Yeah, I'd love to
the
know what
reason behind
information prompted that.
I mean,
It
there was always the speculation, wasn't there, about how landlords obviously weren't happy about this because it meant that they were losing revenue, but also like local businesses as well.
Local
were not
businesses
particularly
were being
because-
affected. Yeah, it was hitting the economy. I mean, you just got to look at, if you like me, you worked throughout the lockdowns, and I consider myself to be very fortunate to be able to do that. Certainly Jo was furloughed for that time, so she wasn't working. But I was working throughout it, and you don't realise just how much money you save by working from home. Like, it is insane. It's insane how much we were saving by me not going out to an office every day and buying lunch out and all that sort of stuff, which I know is bad, it's lazy life choices and stuff. But yeah, I do find it interesting, but I just think fluctuating from, yeah, you can do it, to no, you can't, is not how to handle situations,
I mean,
if that's what's
considering the
actually
number of
happening.
people who may have been hired during that period
For sure, yeah.
and were basically on the assumption that it was always going to be remote.
Yeah,
Like,
and we know that Rockstar have had a history of people complaining about crunch within that organisation. So it is fully understandable that workers are concerned that this is them lining up to crunch just before the launch of the game. The last year. It's no good. It's no good.
Like they mentioned about leaks. On one hand, I'm like, yeah, I can see why it'd be more secure for people to be in the office, but that may just be an excuse to as a reason in inverted commas to get them in.
I think that's a legitimate concern. To be fair, I mean, if anything, that's the one where you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. You don't want people having, close to release code
builds
running
and
on
stuff
their
on their own
monitor
home
screen at
networks
home.
and-
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's but then saying that, the companies do use that where you remote in from a. Like if you're reviewing a game early or whatever, there's lots of that stuff that goes on. So there must be a way of working around it, but I don't know. We don't know. We don't work in the industry, do we? So talking bollocks at this point.
That does.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
at
he
our place,
doesn't.
there's literally like a whole bank
a
of
tweet
computers
out.
of people like working. You see all their cursors working because
Oh, really?
they're at home dialing in, as it were.
I
Do you have
hate
to just
that.
sit there and imagine it's ghosts?
I don't. But,
Do you ever look at one of them and go, oh, their cursor hasn't moved for a little bit, actually?
Yeah, what's going on there?
Bring them up.
What parents
on the
do is look at
screen.
cursors.
Okay.
Next story is, so Embracer has started now selling things off.
It's
after
marginally
the-
better than just shutting them down, I suppose.
Yeah, they've actually realised. Hang on, there's money to be made here.
Yeah.
So they're selling off Saber Interactive and Gearbox as well. So Saber Interactive is being bought by some private investors, and then also they're also apparently still going to be working on the Knights of the Old Republic following the deal. The remake
remake.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, because I was shat it when I read this, because Space Marine 2, like, it looks incredible. Like it nearly happened years ago and got binned because of, I can't remember if it was a studio sale or it was some weird licensing thing went awry. So I was like, fucking hell, if this goes south and we don't get Space Marine 2 again, I'm going to be furious. But it sounds like it's all right. So
Okay.
good.
And then also, Randy Pitchford had a town hall meeting with his staff this week, and he said that there was basically the decision was that they had three options. They said they could stay with Embracer, get sold to another company, or buy themselves out and become independent. And apparently the decision has been made to sell them to another company. But the deal is currently being finalised. So
Was he wearing one of his funny Hawaiian shirts?
I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't also mention whether this was done in a medieval times or not. But yeah, it was. Yeah.
Is this the biggest crisis that the gaming industry's faced since?
It's funny. I
80s.
was thinking earlier, you know,
since the
like
80s.
we sort of like occasionally see mentions of like the big video game crash of, was it the 80s?
Yeah, it was the 80s. Yeah, it was,
And obviously that's just something we
before
read
Nintendo
about,
came along.
and now it's weird to be like, oh no, we're living through one of those.
Yeah,
It
we're
feels
going
like
for
it,
it.
doesn't it?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's not going to be as bad because, you know, you look at sales of video games and they're going up and up and up, and that was what the crash was. That
That's true.
those sales didn't go up and up and
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
But the crisis is facing at the moment with just, I mean, Embracer was exploding and buying everything, and now it's shrinking dramatically. It's yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling. This.
Mm.
I wonder who's going to buy Gearbox. Do you reckon Microsoft or some other subsidiary?
Yeah, that
Lesser
might
known.
be a tidy move because Gearbox publish stuff as well, right? They're
Yes,
their
yeah.
own publisher too. So yeah, it would be doubly shit if Gearbox ended up not existing
Can
anymore.
Microsoft stop buying everything though? Because I want games to come out eventually.
They,
Do
yeah,
you know what I mean?
they've bought enough now, haven't they?
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah, the lawyers are like, please, not another one. We can't. We've had 2 years of that rubbish.
Yeah. Do you reckon like the was it the organisations that see if it's a monopoly? Like, well, oh, Microsoft are buying what now? Don't worry about it. They're not bringing any games out, so I don't think that they
Yeah,
can.
it's not a monopoly if
take
you
over.
just-
Well, they go on one of them
Refuse to bring anything
Xboxes. Have you seen it? It's rubbish.
No, I'm waiting for the one without a disc that costs £50 more.
Oh yeah, I didn't get any feedback on that, did I?
I cannot
Well, as I
believe
say,
you
I
gave
felt like
feedback on that.
it yeah, spoke for itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next story is that Nintendo were suing the creators of a Switch emulator, like it's Yuzu, isn't it? Is the
Yuzu,
name? And because they claimed that like 1 million copies of Tears of the Kingdom were pirated like ahead of its release, and the lawsuit was against Tropic Haze, who are the creator of the Yuzu game emulator, which Nintendo had said were people were using this to like circumvent software encryption. And then also one of the other things they said that just before like Tears of the Kingdom came out, Yuzu's Patreon support like doubled during this time. Like loads of people started putting money in, whatever, which is a bit strange. So then today, so this is Monday, just before we recorded, it turns out that Yuzu have now given in and are paying Nintendo $2.4 million,
Whoa.
dollars. And they're also going to surrender the domain name that they've got to Nintendo, and they're not going to work on it anymore or promote anything that circumvents copy protection. And this is going to affect both the Switch and the 3DS emulator that they've worked on. And I mean, I've got a whole quote. Do you want to hear what they said for the shutdown?
Yes.
So it says, "Hello, users and Citra fans. We write today to inform you that."
Citra. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Go on, what was that? That was the most holy fuck thing I've ever heard.
No,
What
it's
was
because
that?
you mentioned the 3DS emulator, but yeah, so Citra is a really popular 3DS emulator. It's the one you can get
Right.
on your Quest 2 and 3.
Yeah, I was going to
Oh,
ask
yeah.
about
Yeah.
So it says, "We write today to inform you that Yuzu and
Is
Yuzu
the one
supports..."
you can get or the one that I have?
One that
say,
I,
the
one
one
that
you
I
heard
have.
about.
One that
Right,
I have.
We write today to inform you that Yuzu and Yuzu's support of Citra are being discontinued, effective immediately. Yuzu and its team have always been against piracy. We started the project in good faith, out of a passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm. But we see now that's because our projects can be used to circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware. This has led to extensive piracy. In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. We have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we'll be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our website. We hope our actions will be a small step towards ending piracy of all creators' works. Thank you for your years of support and for understanding our decision.
God, that
Right,
statement's
I
been through the lawyers, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
questions. If you were so against piracy, why did you make this then? And then,
Yeah.
and if you are so against piracy, and if you made this and it had nothing to do with piracy, why are you taking it down? Like, it's just honestly.
I mean,
I do find it weird, this sort of conflation that the emulator caused the piracy. I do find that strange. I understand, obviously, it allowed
It
more
enabled the
people
piracy.
Yeah, it was a vessel, wasn't
Well,
it?
it didn't enable it; it just encouraged it, right? It's like you could
I mean,
pirate the game
look-
anyway, whether you got the emulator or not. You could have a hacked Switch and do it that way, allegedly.
Whether you're
Um,
for piracy or not, right? And I'm open to arguments, and I don't really sit on either side of the fence, to be honest with you. But you do look at this stuff and go, yeah, you knew what you were doing. You made a
Yeah.
fucking emulator to run Switch games. Let's not be
Yeah,
fucking.
like surely Yuzu's statement should just be like, "Yep, fair
Yeah.
dues."
That's
dues
what I
for us,
think's
and we
amazing.
owe you
Like
money,
they
yeah.
were going to fight this. Like originally they were going to fight this. You can imagine they just sat down with a lawyer, and the lawyer was like, "No, you haven't got a leg to stand on here." Like,
Yeah.
this is-
It's there's an argument to be made that software shouldn't be locked down like that, and that's actually anti-consumer, and like I get it, but also you're downloading a game that people worked on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the emulator is the sort of grey area, right? Where it's kind of like, well, we're not saying.
Well, this
we're
is it,
not
and like
saying
I always argue in favor of piracy as like a preservation tool.
Yeah.
But when it's current gen stuff, that argument's a little bit flaky because it's definitely stuff you can buy in a shop. It's not like, oh well, like in the case of like the 3DS, it's like, well, there's stuff you can pirate for the 3DS because you literally can't buy it anymore. There's with the eShop being closed down and everything. But yeah, that argument with the Switch is incredibly flimsy because that stuff is definitely still available.
Yeah.
And equally, it's not like, as far as I can tell, going by the quality of some of the stuff on the eShop, the Switch doesn't feel like an especially closed off platform anymore because there's some proper guff on there every time you look.
This what makes the next story so wild. Can we get on to the next story because this blows my mind? This one.
So this is about it's okay. Do I want to pronounce this? Is this Balatro? Is that how you spell it?
Balatro, yeah.
That's how I'm
Balatro,
saying it. I don't. Yeah.
So this is it's a roguelike poker game, and
We should have let him guess. We should have let him guess, right? Oh, you did. You did say Balatro to start.
Yeah.
No, you said, how do you pronounce this?
No, I said, is this right?
Oh,
And
you
I
said
Oh,
Balatro.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Balatro. Is it
Balatro.
He's a great winger for.
Balatro.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. Okay.
up and coming.
Okay, so this has been pulled from sale in some countries because of an unexpected ratings change. So originally the game came out and it was 3+, and now this has been bumped to 18+. But in some territories, and PlayStack, the creators, said they don't even know everywhere that this has happened. Like they're not entirely sure where it's happened across. And I mean, they've made a statement where they've said Balatro does not allow or encourage gambling, and we fundamentally believe the ratings decision is unfounded. Balatro was developed.
Before you go into that, because I think it's important to know the context, right? So Balatro is a card game which you build a deck and you play poker hands.
Yeah.
So it's the only connection it's got to poker are the hands that you create. So you can play a flush or a straight or a full house, that sort of stuff. There's no element of poker in the game at all.
Got blinds.
It could be anything else. It could be like, sorry?
It's all about the blinds. It's all about that as well. Like, I think it's a big.
But the
part
way
of
it
the game.
uses blinds is quite different. The blinds are essentially like score targets for each level, basically.
Well, so you're not betting. A blind is when you a blind in poker, for those of you who don't know, is a minimum bet. So you, regardless of what you do, you have to bet, right? That's how poker games keep you moving forward. So at no point are you gambling those chips, right, within the game mechanics. Are you?
No.
Right.
There's obviously there's like risk reward elements to it, but no more than in any other card game where there's
right, like losing your souls when you die and having to go
exactly so you might you've got your hand of cards and you can't put together a good poker hand from it, but you might think, well, hang on a minute, I've got like 4 hearts here. If I bin off the others, I might. So you can discard like a number of
Right,
cards
right,
from your
right.
hand, right?
Right,
And then
right,
might
right.
get
So
something better.
like any
Just
other
stuff like
card
that.
game, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But for
So-
some reason,
so-
because this uses poker terminology and has a traditional deck of playing cards, I guess, for some reason that's earned it an 18 plus
then-
certificate.
But then this is what's really weird as well, because PlayStack said that they'd already like specifically addressed this topic
Right.
with the ratings board before, because they'd initially tried to classify it an 18 plus, and then they'd appealed, and then the ratings board had come back and said that we've reviewed this and we've determined that the disclosure of gambling themes was unwarranted, like that this is not the case. But then
Right, but it's also important to know that there are loads of rating boards
exactly,
right,
yeah,
across the
and
world.
that's the other thing is we don't actually know where this is, which rating board has done this, but it looks like it's probably Europe's PEGI system. Is
Right, and
that's
and
who
it
it's likely
sounds
is.
like once one does, it sets off a
It
chain
triggers,
reaction,
yeah, others,
and
yeah.
Especially with jumping into an
automatically,
18 plus,
Yeah.
right? And I'm assuming on top of that, like the Nintendo eShop must have like some autoimmune response to something like this, which just goes fuck, pull it from sale.
Yeah,
if that, in case
it's,
there's some sort of controversy around
So
it.
sorry, James. The reason why I wanted to say that before you read the quote out is because it when you read it without the context, it does sound like, hey, no, we don't even like. It sounds
Yeah.
a little bit like the quote from the Yuzu thing last night. Hey, this wasn't even meant for this. But
Yeah.
so if you read the quote out now,
You're
this
right,
makes a
yeah.
little bit more sense. Yeah.
I mean, especially as I said before, where how they said that they'd already addressed this, so but this is why it's strange. So, Balatro does not allow or encourage gambling, and we fundamentally believe the ratings decision is unfounded. Balatro was developed by someone who is staunchly anti-gambling, and painstaking care has been taken to ensure that the game does not feature gambling mechanics of any kind.
So,
yeah.
I found out about this because I've looked out. I'm not convinced I'll like it, but I've heard
think you
enough
will,
people saying you'll love it. So I sat down Saturday morning and thought, you know what, I want something new to play for the show. And I searched for it on the shop, and I was like, where is it? Like on the actual Switch itself. And I thought, well, the Switch eShop is so crap that it's terrible. It's one of the worst, right? Like you go to
It's so
recently
slow,
released,
isn't it, as
and
well?
it's slow,
Yeah.
and it's just
Nightmare.
awful.
Every time I
So
load
then
it up, I'm thinking like, well, maybe they've fixed it by now. They've had 8 years, whatever. It's not really
Yeah,
new.
no, it's exactly the same. So then I searched Balatro on, and then Switch or eShop or whatever, and it only takes you to the American website. And if you change regions, it just kicks you back out again, and you can't get. And I thought, what the fucking hell's going on here? Is it not out yet? It really confused me. So I went to their Twitter account. I saw that, and I thought, holy shit! Imagine, right? So it's just me, obviously, looking to buy this game today. Imagine how many people are looking to buy that game that weekend, and they just can't. You must be absolutely devastated because this is the most important period in your launch. Like the first few weeks is so important, especially for an indie dev.
Yeah, I mean, they said it it made $1 million in 8 hours.
It's
so
it's
doing
already done
incredibly
incredibly
well as
well. But as you say, yeah, like obviously this is going to stall that momentum now.
Yeah.
Big time.
Huge shame.
Big time. People are going to forget about it. People forget about things, and they go, "Oh yeah, I'll buy that game. Oh, it's not on the eShop. Oh, I'll get it when it comes out." And they forget about it, or something else has come around, so they won't buy it. That is lost sales. I'll be really interested to see if they can challenge this legally, like because this has a huge impact. And this was Saturday. I still don't think it's on
No, it's
the
still not
eShop
available,
yet, is
no.
it? That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I also
That's
went to buy
crazy.
it, and I saw their post on social. I'm like, wait, you can't. But yeah, the fact is, it was doing so well in its
call it
first 8 hours, 24 hours. Like that's an even bigger reason for them to maybe appeal or just think because it was just it was. I mean, I think the concurrents on Steam were massive, and it was doing incredibly well.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just a
rough.
shame it's been.
I'm looking
stopped
forward
like
to
this.
playing it eventually, but this is a real problem, and I cannot believe it's not been sorted already. I thought this would be a couple of hours before, it maybe this is an automatic thing that's had a bad knock-on effect, and hopefully it'll get resolved really quickly. But it's been days now, and it hasn't. That's awful for them.
It must
Really
be
shocking.
It must be. I mean, we're purely guessing here, but like the idea that there's like a domino effect with these ratings boards, where it's like if one of them's done this, maybe the others are all just like, hang on,
Yeah,
did
it
we
just
get this
triggers it
wrong?
all.
and then we need to.
Yeah, well, I
look
mean,
at it
I
again.
suppose if you, that must be in place, right? Like that makes sense for that to be in place because if one ratings board finds something that's 18 content within a child's game, say they found a hidden graphic like adult image in it, right? Surely, if they flag that up and go, whoa, no, this is 18, there must be an automatic process of going, right, okay,
Yeah.
loads of places take that game down. Like, I get
Mhm.
that, but clearly this is the bad side of doing it that way because
Mhm.
it sounds like I've not played the game, so I can't judge it myself. But it sounds like this is completely not what the game's about, and they've got the wrong end of the stick, and it's had this huge knock-on effect. It's devastating, really.
Yeah, and like and this would be unfair if the game was bad, but as it happens, it's fucking brilliant. So it's just doubly shit.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. And you're saying it's still available, so it's available on
So it's still on Steam and
PS5 and
Xbox and PlayStation, I believe. So, but
Yeah.
they've all, I mean, I think they've all updated with the new
Mhm.
age
I'm
rating on
looking
them.
now. I'm looking now on the
There you
PlayStation
go.
Store. It's 18. Yeah, it's rated 18.
Nuts, man.
Prominent gambling imagery. So it's the imagery that's right.
So
Okay.
because
it's
is that
interesting
'cause it's
because
got
I
a deck
like-
of cards. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, because part of me thinks like, so as a non-drinker, it always interests me that right, if I'm in the supermarket, if I'm buying cherry Pepsi Max, no one gives a shit. But if I'm buying root beer, which is a soft drink, or non-alcoholic cider, you get ID'd for it, which seems absurd, but like the logic is that like, yeah, but this could be because it's sharing the imagery
Sure.
with actual alcoholic stuff. It could be a gateway, right?
Right.
Do you still get ID'd, Sean?
Well, only because I use self-service checkouts.
Ah,
So someone has to come over and they're like, "Oh yeah,
that's the only reason I
clear
do
me over
use them.
25." So,
Yeah. No,
so,
I get that. I get that. But also, it's crazy. The whole gambling thing is crazy as well. Like, so in football teams can have gambling websites on their shirt as a sponsor.
Mhm.
But you're not allowed to have those sponsors on the child's versions of the kits, right? They'll have a different sponsor on the kids' kits, right? And you go, oh, so you know it's bad then? And
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think the kids are not watching their heroes with the gambling sponsor across their chest? You reckon they're not watching that? And in their head, they're thinking. In fact, actually, the reverse happens because the kid's like, why is my kit different to my heroes? Like, why can't I wear that one with the red? Whatever.
So
it's
then
got
it
on
makes it weirdly
you know?
more prominent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just so bizarre, man. Like, but yeah, sorry, we've gone on a bit of a tangent here. It's got nothing to do with the original story, but we can move on to what you've been playing because you have, Sean.
Yes.
You done, right, James? There's
Yeah,
no
that's-
Farley's Fantasy Zone.
No, not this week.
Well, let's start with Balatro then, because I do want to play this, and I've heard nothing but good things. Sean Bell.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I know obviously we've sort of described it already. It's inherently interesting anyway because obviously most roguelike deck builders they're usually like a fantasy or a sci-fi setting. So initially you look at this and it's like, well, it's just a normal deck of playing cards. How does this work? But of course you forget that a deck of playing cards isn't necessarily tied to any one particular game. It's a tool, right? It's a bunch of cards with images and numbers on them, right? There's all sorts of shit you can do with that. And it's so each level consists of three what they call three blinds, small blind, big blind, and then there's like a boss blind, right? So as I say, the use of the term blind is sort of appropriate. It doesn't really make sense. What that means is basically, so your first blind will be like 600 points, right? So it's like first round you've got to score 600 within, I think it's usually like 5 hands. And then the next one might be 800, and then the boss will be a little bit more, and then the boss will do something weird to fuck you up. So you're going through each of those. You also have the option of skipping them as well, which is weird. So if you complete a blind, right, you beat it, you then you get some money, and then you get to go to a shop, you get to buy more cards or jokers or whatever. Get onto jokers in a minute. But you can also sometimes it'll be like, oh, but if you just skip this, we'll give you this booster pack, right? Or we'll give you this like ability or something. So that's kind of interesting because you're sort of like, well, I know I definitely want that, but what if there's something better in the shop? So there's a bit of strategy there. But yeah, where it gets really interesting is that you have, so as well as like, you'll play like poker hands. So every round it's like, right, here's your cards. You got a hand of cards, and you got to make a poker hand out of those.
And this includes impossible poker hands, right?
It does
so
indeed, yes.
I've seen
'cause
the
you
one that I've
can-
seen is like 5 queens of the same suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Well, this is it. So
Uh,
there's you start off with a standard deck of playing cards, but then there's three, I think three sort of main ways you fuck with that. One, you get tarot cards, which will be things like turns 3 selected cards into hearts, right? Or like choose 2 cards, it makes the left one the same value as the one on the right. Stuff like that. So obviously the
Okay.
idea is, so you can start doing that, but then you'll also get jokers, which might be like every hearts card you play gives you like a +4 multiplier, right? So you're putting these hands together and you're playing them, and they're worth a certain amount of points. But then there's also multipliers based on like these other effects that you start pulling into play. But then there's jokers that are like, you get like a +20 multiplier if your hand's got less than 3 cards in it, or like there's like some really daft ones later on. None of which I can remember right now. That's really useful. There's one that's like, you get like every time you play a hand that doesn't have any face cards in it, its multiplier goes up by 1. As soon as you play a face card, that multiplier resets to 0, right? So you might get that and be like, shit, that like if I get that early game, that's really useful because I can start building that up. But I need to fucking scrub all the face cards out of my deck because they're useless to me now because I don't want them around anymore. And so you get the jokers, and then basically the jokers sort of like suddenly you start getting a couple of jokers, and you're like, right, this is a deck builder. I'm now working out the synergies between these jokers and trying to build a deck of cards that plays into their strengths and activates these multipliers. And then you also get celestial cards, which are like planets, right? And so each hand of poker that you can play, so pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, etc., they each have a level and they level up. So you can you can do like a totally viable winning build that like focuses on pairs. So you could level pair up to like level 9, and then that's worth a lot of points and a big multiplier every time you do it. And then let's say you also have the joker that rewards you for having like smaller hands, etc., etc. So that all synergizes and feels very good. I think that's my favorite thing about it, is that like with a lot of games like this, there's maths involved, right? And usually you're expected. Usually you'll like say it's like Slay the Spire or something like that. You'll get like a damage preview, right? I think that does that, where it's like, so you're sort of working out like, okay, if I play these cards and this, I'm going to do 3 damage to this guy, 9 damage to this guy, and that's enough to take him out. It's not quite going to take him. But you're running this sort of calculus in your head to sort of get an idea of whether or not you're doing the right thing, right? And they're small numbers, but you're still having to sort of work through it. Whereas this is like vibe based, right? And then it's like, whenever I play a hand in this, I couldn't tell you exactly what multiplier and what score I'm going to end up with, but I fucking know when it's a good one.
Right,
I'll be playing it and I'll be like, no, watch this. She didn't give a fuck, obviously. Because I know I've played something that synergizes well with all my jokers and everything. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be brilliant. And then like as it's totting it up, if you get like a really good score, like as it's totting it up, the score things like sets on fire, and just like, fuck, yes, I knew it. This is a good one.
So all you're doing is basically just your hand. You're not playing against anything. You're just trying to hit the goals that it lays out for you.
Yeah, you're just generating points by
it's
playing
just
poker
constantly
hands,
picking up cards and playing them in poker hands.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But
Okay,
it really
so what's
works. It's so good.
It's been described as a roguelite. And I can't. What does it mean by that? Like that you just reset, but you can carry some of your power ups over, or something? Is that all it needs to do to be classed as that?
You don't carry anything as such. So basically, every round you only have a certain number of hands you can play. So if you use all 5 of your hands and you haven't reached the blind, the score target, then you're out and you start again. Which is fine. I mean, you unlock new cards by doing certain things. So like you can sell your jokers. That's another cool thing, right? So many roguelike deck builders, early game, you might pick up some abilities, some cards and stuff that then an hour later you're like, well, actually I picked up these cards early game, but they don't really fit what I'm trying to do with this deck now. It's sort of naturally sort of evolved into something else as I've gone. And it's usually quite a pain in the ass to remove cards from your deck. Whereas this is like your jokers that are across the top. You can sell them at any point and make room for other ones. You're like, well, actually, this doesn't fit my deck anymore. Sell it, get some cash, buy something else. So that's quite cool. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I think that every time I think I've got a handle on what a roguelite is, it seems to change in my head, like the definition. Because, like, by the sounds of it, this is a game where you start off and then you just play it, and then you get to a point where you stop, and then you've got to start all over again, right?
Yeah.
So then, on a really basic level, could something like Tetris be classed as a roguelite? Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's like, well, that's just like every game like from that era. Like, that's what those games did.
I suppose.
So there's nothing that carries over between runs in this.
I mean, as you keep doing runs, so you unlock.
Factor, yeah.
So you unlock more stuff, but it's not like oh, you reached this level, so now in your next game you've got some sort of advantage. Like it broadens the game and makes it more interesting. So it does change things, but doesn't necessarily give you an advantage, I suppose. It's the difference. Okay. Whereas with something like Tetris, it's the same game every time.
Right? Nothing's changing. So there's like moving goalposts and stuff with a roguelite.
Plus, like, and with this, so as I say, there's these boss blinds, which some of them are okay, but some of them are absolute pain in the arse. So some will be like, you can only play each type of hand once in that round, right? So once you played a pair, can't play another pair, or it won't score. You can, but it won't score you any points. So you got to keep changing it up. So that can be really tricky if you've built your entire deck around a certain type of hand. That can be really annoying. Or sometimes it'll just be like, you can't score any points with spades, for example, and you might have changed your entire deck into spades if you want. Like these sorts of things you can do. So yeah. It is definitely a roguelike, but it's not. Yeah, it doesn't have that sort of Hades-ish, like, oh, you always feel like you're pushing forward. But it's so fun that I haven't really minded.
Yeah, I need to play this game. I will play this game when it's available. Really, I mean, I've just looked. There's an hour-long trial on PS5.
Oh yeah.
So maybe just bite the bullet and play it on that. And
yeah, because it is amazing handheld. But then you could play it on the Portal.
Perfect.
Really good one on the bus to work though as well.
I don't get the bus to work anymore. I drive, so that would be dangerous. Dangerous.
Yeah, above that.
Yeah. I never used to play games on the bus anyway. I was too self-conscious about it. I'm in the wrong. Before you go, well, maybe you shouldn't judge people, David. I get it. And if I see other people playing games on the bus, I'm like, I wish I could do that. I just couldn't bring myself.
But you don't, because you slap the phone out of their hand and say, grow up.
Here's what's really weird. A train to work wouldn't play the thing, right? But when I went down to Brighton, I was playing Switch on the train. So why is the
is it about the length of journey? If you commute, no. But if you're there for fun,
a lot of it is about the length of the journey. Because if it's like, I always feel if it's longer than like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, it's like, I'm good. I can play.
You can settle in and not worry about.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But also, there was part of me that was like, there's like a elderly lady that sat next to me on the train, and she must have just looked over and go, why is he doing that? He looks grown up. He's doing that.
With this, she'll be looking over and going, why is he playing that gambling game? Like
that's 18, isn't it?
Yeah. She actually works for Peggy, and now I'm in. That's why this is.
That's her name. That's like a
Peggy from Peggy.
So I'm just going to write your name down here, Matt. It's a yellow card for Matt.
That's a visual gag. You can't do that. They hate that.
I'll explain that.
Not a visual podcast.
Anything else, Sean, that you've got for us?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm going to briefly talk about Unicorn Overlord. Who was it who moaned about
come
on.
He's going to go in.
Eat this.
I downloaded this as well, Sean, but I haven't actually touched it yet.
I won't talk loads about it because basically there's a demo up for this. The actual game is out in 4 days, I think.
You could just play normal games like God of War, Sean.
I could do, but
Colin is raging right now.
Choose to live on the edge of the medium days.
Play Elden Ring.
So this is a new strategy game from Vanillaware, who They did that 13 Sentinels, James. I don't think I didn't play it, but
I've got that because I
Have you?
bought it. It was in a sale recently because
yeah,
normally
it's meant to be
like
amazing.
Yeah, it's meant to be incredible.
because
Yeah.
it's like normally it's like on Switch it's normally like 50 or 60 quid or
Yeah.
something, and I got it for like 15, I think, because it was like a massive sale, and I was like, yeah, I'm having that. But yeah, I haven't touched it yet. But like, I've heard so much about it, like as in it being incredible, apparently. But yeah, I'll get to that next.
What is 13 Sentinels?
It's a sort of mech strategy game / visual novel.
Yeah.
It's meant to have like a really interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of schoolgirls in it, though. I think
Yeah,
that
I was
gave
about
it-
to say,
Is
I'm
it?
looking at
Really?
imagery
Didn't see
now.
that.
Well, this
and
is
it's-
so
Is
Vanillaware
it,
have
says
always been a
James.
bit.
Oh no, is it? I didn't realise that when I bought it.
Better refund that.
Oh, I've lost the seat. I
That
guess
should
I
be an
can't.
18 rated game. No, it should probably
Guess I
already
can't. Can't log in now. I guess I have to keep it. It's annoying.
So Vanillaware's representation of women has not always been amazing. They have an artist who very clearly enjoys drawing them a lot.
They're good at
what was
work,
that?
right?
That really early one they did, James? Dragons something. Dragon's Crown. Was it Dragon's Crown?
Dragon's
It
big
was like-
tits.
I don't know.
But that's what you're going
That's
with.
just crass, Matthew.
Sorry.
So that was like a roaming brawler, and that it was Dragon's Crown. Thank you, chat. And that was like those some of the character designs in that were just ludicrous. I mean, Google it if you, but make sure you use an incognito browser. They've improved since then, right? They're not quite as ridiculous. But yeah, is everyone all right?
Yeah.
Which is
just Google Dragon's Crown.
I was right. I was bloody right.
Oh wow! Look, okay.
yep.
I got it. I nailed that.
We are. Did you? We are.
Oh
we
my
are.
goodness! I know.
We are children. Sorry, Sean.
It's all right. It's okay. No, because
I've got tears in my
no, Vanillaware to an extent deserve this sort of reaction, right? Because they do put some slightly bad shit in their games. However, play the demo for this. The demo runs up to 8 hours, and I used every single one of those 8 hours because it's really fucking good. I know last year we talked about the new Fire Emblem and how we're a bit disappointed by it. I mean, James, I know you finished it in the end, right?
I did, but I hated every moment of
Well,
it.
there you go.
As it was the story, I hated every moment of it because it was awful. It was the worst stories I've ever played in a game. I think. Absolutely dreadful. Yeah.
This feels like it definitely nicks a lot of stuff from Fire Emblem, but it feels like a real breath of fresh air. Feels like the sort of thing that I wished Fire Emblem had done a while back. It's not quite the same. It's a strategy game, but it's you sort of roaming around this like open world. There's like a world map, right? And you're walking around it sort of Final Fantasy style, and there's like towns you visit and stuff. But then as you go around, the plot is you're the prince, right? And your mom, the queen, was overthrown 20 years ago. It sort of allows you to believe that she was killed at the time, but it doesn't specifically show or tell you that. So it's like, oh, right, so she's definitely going to turn out to be alive and probably be a baddie at hour 80 or something, right? Whatever. Anyway, so you've come back to your homeland and you're like liberating it bit by bit, right? So you're working your way around the map, and then you'll talk to a character like, there's bandits, sort them out, and you go, okay, and then there's like a marker on the map, and you activate that, and it's like, bang, you're in battle mode. And then it's sort of real time in that you're generating units. You have like your little command post, and you're sort of ordering them around, and everything moves around in real time. But then when two units clash, they then go into a fight. But that's like an auto battler. So it's all about you set up these little squads. So rather than like having individual characters that you have like sort of like total control over, like you do, but also it's about like, right, so I've got like this shield guy and then this wizard, so I'll make a unit that's shield guy at the front, wizard at the back. Easy, right? Shield guy takes all the hits, magic person does all the damage. Fine. Stuff like that. It gets way more complicated. You can have up to 6 units in one of these things, but it's like each sort of character, each sort of character on the board is made up of like a number of units, right? So it's all about figuring out combos of those, how to deal certain damage types against certain types of enemy units. It's really fucking interesting. As I say, it's out soon, so I'll shut up. But yeah, really, really enjoyed the demo of that.
Cool.
The other one, Ultros. I talked about this a few weeks ago. So I've
Yeah, I
done
remember this. Yeah.
done one ending now. I've done the violent ending, and I'm now pursuing. I think I can just say I don't think it's really a spoiler at this point. There is a non-violent ending to it. Yeah, I think it's absolutely fascinating. I think there's the way that you get the non-violent ending is possibly a bit too long-winded. If I didn't love the game as much as I do, I don't think like I mean, and it doesn't like have a go at you for doing the violent ending, right? It literally you do it, and then basically there's a character that's like, look, do you want to get out of here? It's fine if you want to just leave. Like it's nothing, absolutely nothing. Like it's basically like it's directly addressing the player, like right? Like it's like if you want to go now, you finish the game's fine, and you get credits, and there's no hint of like, but you didn't do the real ending though, did you? You fucker. Like none of that.
When you say
But
non-violent, what is that? That you don't attack things throughout the
yeah,
game?
so basically, I suppose this is spoilers, but also it's impossible to describe what's good about the game without
You
it.
have been
So
warned.
you've been warned. Yeah, basically the game makes this transition from like, yeah, you're fighting stuff, and also there's these like light gardening elements where you're planting stuff, and you're saying, and sometimes it gives you access to new areas and stuff, and it's quite cool. But then basically, yeah, there comes a point where it's like, no, you shouldn't be fighting anything. Like you are just gardening. But the gardening stuff becomes interesting enough that it's like, no, this is really cool. I actually like this. Like, and I've built up a knowledge of where to get certain plants on the map, right? And you start like, because for a while you're like, oh well, I know I need to plant more stuff here, right? In this one room or area or whatever, but there's nowhere to do so. And then you realize you can feed the enemies, and then they fertilize the ground for the next cycle. So I'm saying it's like a looping thing. So that stuff becomes really interesting. So you're like figuring out like what types of food different enemies want, and then feeding them, and then waiting for the next cycle so they fertilize the ground, then planting something, and then that allows you to pursue this non-violent ending. It's really, really interesting. Just the way it like, because it's a pretty good combat system, right? Combat feels pretty good. And then it's bold enough to be like, yeah, you're not doing that anymore. That's over now. You're just chilling out. And because it's such a beautiful game, because we always say like there's so many games where the worlds are amazing, but they're hostile, and sometimes it's like it's really nice. Like if I could just explore this, you can in this. Once you do all the fighting, that's it. Like you're good. You can just wander about doing the gardening stuff, which may not appeal to everyone. And as I say, that's fine. You still get an ending just for fighting everything, and that's absolutely fine. I do think the story could do with being a bit clearer. I mean, maybe just because it's Souls-esque, and it's like, oh, there's bits of lore dotted around, and the community's going to piece it together. But obviously, this doesn't have the community of like a Souls game, right? Varty's not doing videos about this. So he's basically, there's one guy on Reddit who's kind of sussed it all out. So you'll just end up having to read that at some point. So yeah, I think it would have benefited from being like the story being a bit more straightforward. Other than that, I really love it. I really, really love it. I think it's a proper interesting twist on Metroidvanias in general. I think it's like the presentation is just absolutely flawless, as I was saying.
Visually, it just looks so unique, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. As I say, the sound, I've pre-ordered the soundtrack on vinyl. I haven't got a turntable, Dave. What's that all about?
You're one of
I
those.
just want to
Time to
have
get
it.
one.
It'll be here on my stream layout, and I go, oh, look at that out of
I'd
focus in
love
the
it if you got
background.
some decks, and then you did like a scratching session on Twitch, and then you become like a wedding DJ.
Yeah,
That was
But
your
just
calling.
gaming soundtracks.
just playing the Ultros.
And only using sound
Okay.
peats. You know what I mean?
Why is that funny?
Sorry.
Yeah, and also I'm playing Helldivers 2, but
Yeah, I
probably
mean
don't
that's
need.
all I played this week.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 is fucking incredible, isn't it?
Mm.
There's part of me that's kind of like, okay, it's time to mix it up a little bit now, because
Yes. Well, have you seen the
missions are-
leaks with like the mechs and stuff?
Yeah,
No,
the
I have-
vehicles are coming.
Oh,
Yeah, vehicles are coming. I mean, we sort of knew it was coming anyway, because we
Yeah.
like vehicles were in the first game, and if you looked in the your ship, there's like a vehicle bay. It says like under construction on it.
Right.
So we sort of knew it was
There's
coming.
also
but...
there's also a row of computers on the right hand side that do nothing at the moment.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that's all linked to it as well.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm still loving it. Genuinely, I would be playing it tonight if it wasn't for us doing this show. But there is part of me that's kind of like, okay, all right, I've unlocked loads of stuff now. You know, I'm feeling good about it. And now yeah, I'm ready for it to try something different now. You know, like there be a theme week or something happens like at the weekend or something.
Well, this is it, isn't
I'm
it? Because
kind
they've
of
been
ready for
so
that stuff.
so busy firefighting the server
Yeah.
capacity stuff. Their actual roadmap sort of went out the window. So
Yeah, for
probably
sure.
that stuff is gonna happen. It's just all been delayed.
Oh, it's definitely going to happen. I still like. I had an argument with John Denton about it last night about how I really don't like the sort of the unlocking mechanic of the what do you call it, the sort of what do they call it, the battle pass and that sort of stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
you had two battle passes. There's a free one and a premium one, but for some reason the medals work the same on both of them, so you have to make a decision. But the premium one's only 3 pages long or 4, maybe 5 pages long.
Yeah, because obviously the thing with battle passes is usually you've played the game for
Unlock
20
at the same
hours
time.
and then you're like, oh well,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
just pay a tenner now, then actually I'll just unlock all this shit straight away because I'm already at this level. Whereas this is like, right, well, you've paid for the premium battle pass, go out and earn some more fucking medals.
But also,
Yeah.
you
Gonna
have to
need
actually
them.
make a conscious decision about which one you unlock. That must be really
Yeah.
frustrating because, yeah, like with most games, it's fun because, okay, well, I get both bonuses. That's what I pay for the premium for. But now I actually have to make a decision.
Yeah, like it
There's
should
something-
when you buy the
Yeah.
premium one, it should give you the number of medals you've already spent on the base one, right? To just spend on the
Right.
premium one. That's what
Totally,
it should do.
Yeah, it should be separate, or separate currency or whatever.
Mm.
But like the one thing that I really had an argument with John about, and he's right. Like he is right. It's a mentality thing. The way they do it is better than the way I'm suggesting, but I think mentally it would be better. What I'm saying is that when you unlock stuff, say you've paid for the premium and you're unlocking stuff, it gives you a page of unlocks with different prices of medals versus different things. You have to pretty much clear that page before it opens the next one. It says like you've got to spend 12 more medals to open up the next page. So then you spend it on stuff that you don't really want just to get access to the next page. And John said, well, that's good, isn't it? Because you've got a chunk of things that you unlock, right? And now if it was a linear process like it is in Rocket League, you would still have to unlock that same stuff, but it's in order. Whereas now you get to choose the order. So if you want something that, and I'm like, but there's something really incredibly frustrating to go, oh, good, I've got to get all these medals so I can spend it on stuff that I don't want just to get to the next page. Of stuff that I do want, you know, it's a bit frustrating, but what can you do?
Yeah, weird, really.
What a game though. I mean, we've got a group of friends that we play with, like we were talking about at the start of the show, and only a few of us got PS5s. A bunch of us haven't bothered and won't, or flat out won't refuse to buy a PS5. This is the closest they've come because it's now entering.
I'm not surprised.
It's entering their TikTok, you know, all the time, and all that, and Instagram Reels or whatever, because it just seems to be all over social media. I still don't know why this one is the one to suddenly get everyone interested again. We spoke about it last week, but my word, it's kind of like everyone seems excited about Helldivers, and that's kind of why I want momentum to move on now, and for them to go, right, this weekend it's the first big event. You all need to be on this planet together.
Yeah,
you know, because there's definitely going to be a moment where you're playing a mission and another 4 Helldivers are on that map with you, and you go, holy shit, there's 8 of us now. What the fuck? Or there'll be, oh man, imagine if there's infighting at one point where you got to choose a faction of Helldivers, and then, oh god, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. What if you just woke up one day, you logged in, and it just gave you a faction? You were like, yeah, no, you're the rebels now. Oh my god, that's what it is. The gameplay is brilliant. The stuff you're unlocking and doing is brilliant, and the potential for what's to come over the next year on Helldivers is so exciting that it makes me feel sick.
And the fact that it's done so well, like, okay, it's delayed things, like new stuff being added to the game, but also it's legitimized a lot of other stuff further down the line, right? Like, if this had sold what they'd expected, you'd be like, well, yeah, they're going to add vehicles and stuff. That's kind of going to be it. Whereas actually now the scope, like the potential for it is way bigger than what they initially intended. So
this is what I was chatting to John about the other week, because there's that article about the game master on Helldivers 2. What is his name? Joel. His name's Joel, right? So he's someone that works for the developer and has been given the role of game master, and Joel decides what happens. So where the war is, what planets it is, how the Helldivers are getting along, all sorts of variables that they've got control of, and that they get to, as a sole person within that development team, they make the decisions. And I just kind of thought, how sad would it have been if it sold like 400 copies and Joel's got this role and he's like, well, it doesn't really matter if I do anything, does
Let
it?
you go,
No
mate.
one
Sorry,
cares
there's no.
anymore. But then on the flip side, now that it is like millions and like 700,000 concurrent players and stuff, all that sort of stuff, Joel's sitting there just, how big of an ego has Joel got right now?
Yeah, he's a king now, isn't he? King of the castle.
Yeah, man.
Let's crush dreams as he turns up to work. Or is it that it's an insane amount of pressure on his shoulders and he's going to work every day just going,
Because I can't wait to
can't.
see. So obviously, yeah, like we know vehicles and stuff are coming. There's going to be a third enemy race at some point because there was in the first game.
There's going to be more.
And you're like,
I think,
you look at the galaxy map. It's very clear. The current two races are like 2/3 of this wheel. So it's like, yeah, there's definitely going to be a third race. But like, yeah, but it's like, fuck, how are they going to like introduce that? Like they've actually got like budget to do something cool with it.
What would it be? What would it be?
I've no idea, man. This is it. I like maybe, I don't know, like an actual like scripted mission where it's like, look, just go to this planet, something's up.
No, I mean, what do you think the third enemy? So the first one's bugs, second one's robots. Where do you go from there?
Well,
dinosaurs.
In the first game, dinosaurs would be cool. That'd be too similar to bugs, though, wouldn't it? Gameplay wise.
Yeah, but the T-Rex and that. Think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, what about that?
I'm sold. So in the first game, the third race was like they were like advanced aliens with like cool tech and stuff.
Then. Okay, well that's what it's going to be then, isn't it? It'll
probably
just be aliens.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
Well, like
you ruined
Attacks.
That. Spoilers. Yeah, just blast some music out the top.
Yeah, I think there's two interesting things about this. Still, I haven't played it, obviously, but one is the fact that this was never meant to be like a live service game, right? But do you feel like they're going to pivot to potentially a live service game?
No, I think it was always supposed to be. Like it launched
it's heavily live service.
Yeah, because it's got this online persistent campaign on top of the battle pass stuff. Like that was all in from day one, and like I say, the persistent campaign stuff that was in the first game.
I mean, in terms of like size of the studio, size of the maybe expectations, like it feels like they would probably will they go full into like, okay, it's a full Destiny live ops team, this and the other, rather than maybe.
That.
Okay,
Matt,
right.
I don't know if you know. It is totally that. You go to the missions and it says there are these many Helldivers fighting on this planet at the moment, and it's this liberated. We logged on yesterday and it said Helldivers, we've lost this planet. It's gone. You cannot access it at the moment because it's being completely overtaken by the enemy, and we're not sending anyone down there at the moment. We were like, and John just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake, boys!" It's quite funny. Yeah, no, it is. Like, I'll be honest with you, Matt. The first night I played it, I didn't pick up on any of that stuff. But when you look at it, you go, "Holy shit! Yeah, this whole thing is a live service game, definitely." That's what makes it so exciting, because it feels like the potential for things to happen. Like, I would genuinely love it if you had to pick a faction at some point, and there are missions where you go down and you come across a faction, like a team from the other faction, and actually you're fighting other Helldivers. Like, that is so incredibly exciting to me. That, I mean, why not? Why, like, that would be ace, right? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, man. And it's so cool how like the CEO of the developer, I forget his name now, but he's just been so fucking sound every time there's like a headline about Helldivers 2. Half the time it's just like, yeah, he's just said something cool again. Like, which I think has gone a long way in terms of, like, obviously technical issues with the game and stuff, which I think mostly are all right now.
Can you get
like,
games much more easily now? Yeah,
than
before?
I've not had a problem at all since they've
like, I think the fact that he's just been so sound throughout has probably like been one of the reasons that people are like, yeah, it's not working, but I'll just, I'll wait, it's fine. Like, the fact that he specifically said like if you're thinking of spending like your last $30 on this, like, please don't, because it's not working yet. Like he's been so open about this, and like someone like tweeted at him and was like, I can't remember, it was basically something about Helldivers 2 shitting on Halo, and he was just like, what are you comparing them for? Halo's really good. What's the problem? Like, it's just been great.
The other thing I find
The,
interesting.
I've suddenly gone off the music of Halo, but other than that,
Oh yeah, that was didn't make the
Um,
news, but
I had a moment, Sean, today where like
Mm.
I'll
over
give
the
him
weekend where
just to-
I was fighting with randoms, and one of them had the mortar turret, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" So it's a turret that instead of just fires in a line, because the problem with using turrets in Helldivers, if you've not played it, is that it fires at bugs, and whether one of your friends is in the way or not, it will wipe your mate out. Like if they're standing between the turret and the thing, I was like, that's really frustrating. But this mortar one, it doesn't fire in a straight line. It fires up in the air, and the bullets come down on the bugs, and that's great. So I said to my mates when I played with them, I've just unlocked the mortar one. Like I've seen it that my mates, the randoms were using it, and it was amazing. So I'm really excited to use it. I set it up, and of course I set it up when they're in the middle of where all the bugs are. So these bombs were like firing up into the air, and then just crashing down
landing
on my own teammates, and just go, yeah, maybe this isn't as effective as I was hoping initially. So yeah, so
I only just, I mean, this is just me being thick. You know that you can sometimes stumble across those artillery cannons and you get the secondary objective to like load it up. I didn't twig that they become some of your stratagems that you can then use.
Yeah.
So there's like because I'm like, we were doing it one time and I was like, oh, that's weird. There's like more warheads than you need to put into it. And mate of mine was like, yeah, it's because you choose what to put in it depending on what you want. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, because you can fucking fire them. Like you can you start dropping them on enemies. So good.
Yeah, it is. It's a brilliant game.
From like a nerdy point of view, I also fascinated the fact that it's built on like an engine that got discontinued in like 2018 from Autodesk as well, Dave.
It's apparently it's the same engine the first game was built on. It's
Is it?
astonishing.
Yeah. So it's like so Autodesk brought out this engine called Bit Squad, got discontinued in 2018. They'd always started work on a sequel in this like world where everything is either Unity or Unreal, and you know people waiting for fixes or people waiting for this and that. The fact they're doing all this and having to make substantial changes on an engine that isn't even running anymore, hasn't been running for like 6 years, is amazing.
But it's fascinating, isn't it? Because as you say, like as a developer, they've weighed up like, right, we've spent our entire careers working on this engine. We know it inside out. We can continue working with this. Like, and they've obviously decided that's better for them than switching to like say Unity or Unreal or whatever.
Learning something new.
And there are positives to that. Sorry, James, go on.
Yeah, I'd say that's good, but then Bethesda have done the same thing with.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah. But in this case, it looks like it's worked out a lot better.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, 100%.
Cool. Okay, that's enough Helldivers for this week. Matt, you've actually played a game. That's exciting.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I struggled to play a bit.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it does hurt. Yeah. I've played about 3 and a bit hours, almost 4 hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and
you did tell us 5 hours earlier, Matt. It's going down.
Oh,
It's going
well,
down
yeah.
every time.
It's like the opposite of your sign.
I'm having to decrease that because basically, even on the pause menu, it still counts the time up.
Okay.
So I think my clock is at 4.5 hours. I'm fairly sure it's like closer to 3.5 actual gameplay.
Let's have a look.
But yeah, actually, who knows? It's probably like 20 actually on the PlayStation app. But yeah, so I'm obviously incredibly early on. And don't worry, there won't be any spoilers to the story because I'll be honest, I don't know what the fuck's happening. The interesting thing about this is that obviously, so in terms of the original Final Fantasy VII, I'm on disc 2. I've gone past that moment in the game. I think I'm like 50 or so hours on the Switch, on the Final Fantasy VII version, the Final Fantasy VII on the Switch. So I'm now, unlike with Remake, where I was playing for the first time, I'm now further ahead than I'm now currently playing in Rebirth, which is great. But even though I know where the original story has gone up to where my point is, given the changes in Remake, it's hard to know what I'm supposed to know or not know. Now, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they're talking to me a bit about this, and they're like, "Oh, but you know that character in the original," and I'm like, I could have stopped listening, but I was like, I'm just going to listen because I couldn't bother to press pause. And they're like, "Oh, but that character in the first game in the original game does this." Now, some people might think, "Well, Matt, haven't you just spoiled that?" But no, because one, that seemed awfully complicated, and two, this is I don't know what's going to be changed or not changed in this. So even hearing spoilers,
This is just gobbledygook.
Because we should explain.
Even
I don't think this is a spoiler at this point. I think we should explain. So in the remakes, which we're now on the second major installment of, isn't it basically some characters are like aware of the events of the original game? Is that basically it?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay,
Honestly, Sean. I don't know. So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to know. I'm not sure what the characters know, and even stuff I may know from the original game, they've probably changed. So the opening kind of 2 hours of this, there's like a flashback, and I'm like, have I seen this before? Should I have seen this? Do they know what it? Yeah, it's incredibly confusing. Apparently, it mellows out and you kind of start to understand exactly where things are. So yeah, don't worry, there won't be spoilers of the story because I don't know where we are either. But yeah, I mean, I guess
I just think it's an interesting, like, if what I said is correct. I just think it's an interesting way to do it because I know we've talked before about creators revisiting all the things and rewriting them, changing them and stuff, and that's interesting in and of itself. But I love the idea that like the characters are aware that that's what's happening. Do you know what I mean?
Hang on.
Well,
So
some of them
you're saying the characters are aware that they're in a remake of a game.
not that they're in a remake, but just that they're aware that there's like another timeline of events, basically.
Right. Okay.
It may not be correct. That was something I'd sort of gathered from half reading things and then being like, no, I should really play this myself.
Yeah,
you
absolutely should. I having only been early on, the one thing I have enjoyed lots is Queen's Blood, which is the card game in this game. I'm not sure if I mean, this game apparently has absolutely shed loads of mini games, many more that are going to come up later in the game. But Queen's Blood is like seemingly very simplistic kind of 1v1 card game where there's people on the map we can play against, and I think they said there's like a whole team that worked this game just separately, and you can kind of tell it feels really deep and complex, even in like the few games I've played so far. So really enjoying Queen's Blood. I won't go into all the details of that because it's just a card game. But I can't wait to play more because even just like the small bits I have played, the combat feels great. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm just incredibly excited about where it goes. And now with the context being different, because I have played some of the original game, unlike when I play remake, it's just exciting it's just exciting to see where it goes and see the environments that I remember from playing the original and seeing what it looked like in this gorgeous kind of PlayStation 5 version. So apologies I haven't had a chance to play much this week, but I'm going to hopefully get a lot more play time in. Hopefully my fingers work before next week's show. But yeah, I'm psyched as hell to be in that. Just hearing the music is amazing, and I'm excited to play more. So this is an interest to any of you, right? I mean, I know James, you haven't played the remake.
No,
James, you played the original.
I played the original. I tried to play the original, and every time I got about 15 hours in and was like, nah.
Everyone always shouts at me for this. I don't think the original holds up as well as people say.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm going to piss them off even more. I fucking hated the characters in the first one. Or like the remake. In the remake, I hate. Oh no, the music. Like, I liked the setting. I thought the setting was really interesting, and where the overall plot was, I was like, okay. And then there was so much of it. I was kind of like, oh fuck this. It was full of cliches and boring characters saying shit stuff. Like, I was like, fuck this.
But Dave, the overweight man talks about food all the time.
Yeah, he does.
We all do it.
It's stuff like that. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm kind of putting up with this. And then, spoilers, if you've not played the remake, I'm pretty sure you would have if you were interested, but do skip on it. Then the cat turns up, and I'm going, where's he come from? Like, out of like a falling, like, why? We've not even seen cat people, and now we've seen a cat person for no reason. And then I think I stopped playing when someone went, yeah, that's never referenced again in this one. I went, right, okay, I'm done then. I'm done.
Yeah, but if you know the original, you're like, fucking Alex K.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah.
Explain what the cat thing is, please. Right.
What? It doesn't need to explain. It's just a cat.
It's just cat.
Yeah. But you'll be
he lives in a
perfectly
bigger cat.
happy watching like a film, and then like an alien walks along in the background. Doo 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 doo. And you, what's that got to do with
Well, if
anything?
there was another film that provides context, then yeah.
Yeah, but that film came out like years ago, and this was supposed to be a remake.
And is rubbish.
Yeah, I just lent into that. I mean, it's a Square Enix JRPG. Like, it's very silly. Even in his opening hours, this feels very, very silly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Like, I can just I can just lean into it and enjoy the silliness. I will say one thing. I think you absolutely have to play Remake to play this, because it starts. There's a small recap, but it basically goes straight into it, and you'll be ridiculously confused if you haven't played Remake, frankly, because there is no real like, oh, but actually they're here. That it goes. There's a recap, and it goes straight into. I mean, I have played Remake, and I'm still confused. So imagine having not played it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So we'll get some more of that when you've played a little bit more.
Hell yeah, I can't wait.
And James, you've got a couple of games for us.
Yeah, because I went back to Mario vs Donkey Kong because I finished the.
I tried to sell that this weekend. Sorry, go on.
You
No, to
tried
buy
to? What, they wouldn't accept?
Well, they didn't. I wanted to take it. I realised that as CEX you could take it in, just pay £2 more and get Treasure Tracker, but but they didn't have it in stock, so that was return back home.
Did
Sorry,
they have
James.
loads of copies of Mario vs Donkey Kong?
Sorry, James.
See, I went back to this because I finished like the main, the main game for this, but in typical Nintendo fashion, that's not it at all. And it unlocks, first of all, it unlocks these like expert levels.
Okay.
And so originally I was thinking, I thought, well, maybe I'm done with this. I haven't enjoyed it. It's not that great. And then I played the first expert level, and I was like, actually, I'm kind of digging this. This is pretty good. And then I thought, I'm just going to play the expert levels. I'm going to get something out of this now. This is great. But then I found you can't do that because you have to basically play through the entire game again in plus mode, which makes it a little bit more difficult, basically. And so that you get these stars that then unlock the expert levels.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
And so I ended up doing that.
Of course you did.
Doing that.
I ended up doing that and having a really fucking good time. Like actually playing it. Just fuck off,
Sicko.
David, because I had a great time with this in the plus mode and the expert stuff. This was the game that probably they should have released.
Well, I was
when
going to
it first
say,
came out.
surely the answer here is let you start on plus mode.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think a lot of people would have had a much better time with it because it's just the right level of difficulty to the point where, I'm having to think about what I'm doing, and it's not just like switch your brain off, which is what happened in the first half of the game. And the expert levels were great. They were really, really well designed. And yeah, I had a brilliant time with it. It was very good. But I can totally see why if you just play the first set, you'd be like, nah, this is rubbish. And it's like, why would you gatekeep that? I don't understand behind like finishing it. It's really strange. But I ended up having a good time with it. I mean, it's nowhere near like Donkey Kong 94 or most of the other ones, but there is more there. It's just that getting there is a little bit difficult, I think. But yeah, I had a good time. The other thing I've played is I've been playing Alan Wake 2. And
Did you notice a change in tone of his voice then?
no,
Did you
because
notice that?
Yeah, I've seen the social posts.
So
I
It's a
haven't.
social post.
I've seen his post on Threads and
What was it?
Threads?
You're on Threads.
Yeah.
Jesus.
yeah.
Wow.
yeah, man,
okay.
all the hip cats are on Threads.
No, they're not. What did he say on Threads, Matt?
It's all very negative.
Okay, why do you determine that's okay for Threads but not Twitter? James?
I feel kind of
Exclusive
done with Twitter
content.
at the moment. It's
Okay.
I feel kind of done with it. It's
Alright.
rubbish.
Okay. I'm going on Threads.
At JCF Farley on Threads, I guess.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
follow me on there. It's all good. So this has taken me a while to get into this game. Probably about 5 to 10 hours, I think. Where the first half of this game I felt was incredibly monotonous. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. And this is not particularly engaging or particularly interesting.
Even like the opening and stuff.
Yeah, the opening is pretty good. But then
Okay,
it
because I was
kind
going
of
to say, 'cause I enjoyed
settles-
that bit. But,
Yeah, it kind of settles into this sort of like... just didn't enjoy it at all.
So, how are you playing? So, obviously, how it works is you start off as Saga, who's like the cop, and then you play a few missions, and then eventually you get to play Alan, and then you can switch and stuff. Like, how was it boring up until the switching? Even after switching, was it boring? How much were you switching?
Even after the switching, I was bored. And the reason I was bored is because, especially as Alan, it doesn't really it doesn't explain mechanics that well. And like what you're supposed to be doing, it's a bit it's not confusing. It's just a bit kind of like, this is expecting more of me than I was expecting it was going to, if you see what I mean. Like, in terms of having to figure out, sort of, light puzzles and that kind of stuff, and how the rules of the world work as well. But then I started to get into that, and then there's the whole section with the musical bit that everybody kind of knows about,
number.
and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I'm digging this. This is kind of great. And then the whole game, I don't know how this happened, like steps up an entire gear, and it's fucking brilliant. It's just like, after this, I'm completely hooked on this now. Matt was completely right. This completely deserved to be on the Game of the Year list, like absolutely, and probably.
No, whoa. Okay,
Go on.
I would agree with that, and I hadn't even played it. Should it have been Game of the Year?
Yeah, I think it should have been after
After
this.
10 hours
Well,
of
it
you
was.
hating it, are you fucking mad?
No, I'm 19 hours in now, and it's like,
Hey, I know. I know that. I'm just
No, but
saying.
I can appreciate the slow burn, like with this, and the fact that the front end of the game isn't amazing, but once you get over it, it's really does very interesting things, particularly with the storytelling. And one of the things which I was saying to Matt this over like WhatsApp or whatever, that it's like, I tell you what I kept on thinking about while I was playing this game was immortality. And the reason I kept on thinking about that is because I kept on thinking, like, immortality felt like, I mean, we talked about this, it felt like a drama school kind of like production with a budget. That's what it kind of felt like. Whereas this feels so much more mature and so much more well thought out, and really, really completely takes advantage of the medium as well, of interactivity and of it being a game. That it's just like it's absolutely fantastic, and I've just been completely hooked like for the last week. I mean, I'm right at the end now of the whole thing, and it's just brilliant, like absolutely brilliant. And one of the things that I think it's made me reassess Control as well to a degree, because of the fact that there really is like these very, very strong crossovers, between Control and Alan Wake. And this whole idea of there being like a Remedy connected universe kind of thing, in this case, it really works because the stuff in Control gives complete justification for what's going on in Alan Wake, and it's brilliant, like as like conceptually. And yeah, I think it's fantastic. I really do, and I'm right at the end now. Like, I know for a fact that I'm like just finishing, and I mean, I'd be playing it right now. Like, I want to finish this now because I want to see how this ends. Because there is a part that I got to just before we started recording, where I was like, "Fucking hell!" I was like, that is pretty awful. Like, what's happened here? And it's just so. It's unsettling, but like not in a sort of like, it's not doing jump scares. It's just. Yeah, it does do jump scares, but it's
well, you can turn them off, right, or down at least.
Yeah,
you can. Now,
so, I do really need to play this.
But like thematically, in the tones of like of what the game is trying to like get across to you, it's really, really sinister and horrible. But it's like, but it's so well communicated compared with like Immortality. Which just
I just think it's just so clever the way it mixes FMV seamlessly with gameplay, and and the fact that you hear a lot of narration stuff from Alan's point of view, which is this writer, and maybe not the world's greatest writer, and in some games that'd be really like horrible to listen to or cliche or cringy, but it's just done.
But it works here
so
because
well,
it's part. That's part of the story. That's
it's
like
genre
a whole
piece.
part of it.
It's,
exactly. It's like the fact that the writing, that his writing is a bit, not great, is part of the thing, and it's fantastic, and just the performances as well.
Yeah, performances are fantastic. Yeah, really.
I never really bought into Control. I think there was part of me that was kind of like, when I get a feeling that when it comes to writing and themes, when I get that feeling that, you think this is more clever than it is, right? When I get that in my head, I really struggle to get over it, because everything they try from there, and that may be unfair. Like, I'm not saying that that's what it was, but when
and it's always tough, isn't it? Because when you find yourself thinking that other people are seeing things that aren't there, it's like, what if I'm just thick though?
But it's not for me. It was like, I get what it was going for, but I was kind of like, okay, but when you think that this is more impressive than it is, and I never really liked how the studio spoke about that game. There was a lot of stuff that was going out and comments coming out from the devs on that game where I just kind of thought, I don't know, this kind of. And then when I hear about the crossover stuff, I love the sound of that. You know, I think that's really cool, and I'd love to see more of that within games. I just, when you haven't bought into that stuff in the first place, I think it's really hard to get over that.
But you see,
and also, I think if this wasn't an out and out, you know, like I'm not really in the mood for like a dark, creepy game where you're like walking around slowly doing stuff. I think I'm at that stage where I just want to play like fast action and you know, big explosions and stuff at the moment, and that's why Helldivers is connecting with me so much. So yeah, I think that's probably why I didn't get into Alamite.
But you see, that is why I think this is superior, like, to Control, because this doesn't feel like they're trying to say, like, oh, we're so clever. You know, this story is so clever. It doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah,
like, it
totally.
feels like they're having fun with it, which is what
the stuff that I've
brilliant.
seen from it has been wacky, but not wacky in the hey, look at how. Look, we're doing things different. Like that particular scene that's been referenced everywhere, the musical bit, right? I looked at that and thought, that is fucking great. Yeah. There's at no point I was thinking they're being wacky. Like that was like the right tone, the right level of it. Where there was a lot of stuff in Control where I was like, okay, all right, yeah.
See, and that's the thing, because like people talk about like the whole David Lynch thing and like Twin Peaks and everything, and it's like I felt that was much more in evident in Control. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like it so much, because I played it and I just thought, this is really derivative, like of like a lot of these ideas. This doesn't feel like that to me. This feels much more like this is their own thing that is just it's just so well put together. But really great, like really great. Matt was right.
Yeah, I'm glad you love it. I'm glad. I can't wait to see what you think after the ending as well. We'll have to talk about that after this.
Yeah, definitely.
I know we rarely refer to the chat, but yeah, Scientology said I doubt we get an answer for this. But as Matt watched Twin Peaks, well, actually, I started watching Twin Peaks because was it like Twin Peaks Day the other week? It's when like, you know, when he enters Twin Peaks, is like
I love
says,
that's what gets you to watch it.
Well,
it's
no,
not your friend telling you you'd like it and you should.
I just thought, I've never watched it, and I had like an evening doing not a lot, and I thought, you know, other than being in pain, and I thought, fuck it. So I've got like a Paramount Plus subscription. Yeah, I'm like 4 episodes in, and really enjoying it. I just haven't gone back to it since like Final Fantasy and stuff's come out, but I will stick with it because it's really weird. I was saying to James, like, it's just really so fucking weird.
Yeah, especially like the whole sort of like soap opera kind of element to it, which is like, this doesn't jive with what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't quite know what to make of any of it really, but it's really
like
compelling.
The overacting and all this kind of thing is just it really is it's special. Like once you
I went through my week Paramount Plus sub and I cancelled it, but I'll probably do like another month because even though it's weird, there's something there to make me want to keep watching. So I will.
It's one of those shows I've never got into just because it feels like it's one of those shows that like people make it their whole fucking personality once they've seen it.
I mean, I really
like
it. I really loved it.
Not
that thing. But
and and changing rooms.
It was so good.
Okay, that's what we've been planning this week. Should we get on to questions? Sure.
Please. My voice is fucked. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS Comix Zone of the Enders, 1995's Comix Zone had a character that advanced the game by moving up, down, or across comic panels. Surely, with the power of the PS5 and Xbox, modern consoles could handle rendering images that evoke flipping through the pages of a graphic novel. Is this panel style not a mainstream aesthetic because of gameplay limitations, or is this simply a look that is not appealing in 2024? Keep up the tremendous work, which continues to be consistent regardless of the number of hosts on sick leave. Sincerely, Maria.
Damn straight.
I'm confused. I mean, what's the mechanic?
It's Comix Zone. So what Comix Zone did was that it was a 2D, not really scrolling, sort of kind of like fighting game where you went between panels, like on like a comic book. So like the screen set out as like a panel, and you could smash through into like the next panel and stuff like that. And as people in the chat
crazy for 1995.
It's
really smart.
Overdoing it a little bit.
I mean, it looks. I mean, I've played it like a couple of times on emulation, like through like the Switch Online and stuff like that, and it's
an illegal backup.
Yeah,
Legal-
absolutely
yeah,
got
yeah,
legal
yeah.
legal backups.
So
But
it's
yeah,
not Nintendo. It's fine. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's true. Yeah. It is on Switch, as I said.
Mhm.
But it does. I mean, what
Sega
Maria's
just
written
glad
here,
anyone's
it
playing their
reminds me
game.
of the, as they've said in the chat, the Plucky Squire thing. I mean,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah.
closest sort of
Yeah.
connection, I guess.
It's
What a
funny, it's
fucking
one of
great
those
idea.
things that if someone was to do it now, would everyone just go, "Oh, you just nicked that from Comix Zone"?
Yeah.
No,
Even
I
though
didn't
it's been
even know
so
this-
many years, like surely that's fair game now.
I don't know if this game is even like I don't even remember that. I would love to see someone try this again.
Mm.
To try and get this going again because this looks incredible. I need to play this.
Yeah, you can play it on Switch Online or whatever, and it was because I think it was made by I think it was Mark Cerny's
Oh, really?
like I'm sure it was like Sega of America made it like
Okay.
when he was at the Sega Technical Institute or whatever it was called at the time. I'm probably remembering incorrectly, but
Comix Zone and Knack, the
Yeah.
two, the cross that. I don't know. As I was going for a joke now, I couldn't be bothered. I sort of lost faith in that halfway through talking about it. Okay,
I mean it's very very 90s.
Hmm.
So, but yeah,
I'm
it's quite
digging
interesting.
that stuff at
Yeah.
the moment, mate. I'm all about the 90s at the moment.
Yeah, I think it looks
Thinking
really
about-
cool. Like, first thing, when I read that question, I was just thinking, oh well, we had Ratchet and Clank, where we had going to different kind of like in a 3D environment, going to different environments, but that wasn't quite, I think, how we maybe imagined it when it was first shown. It was really very specific parts of a level where you go. But then I was thinking like Spider-Verse, like the latest Spider-Verse movie, there's bits where they go for like so many different different styles of Spider-Verse. Like that, could that be done on this generation of consoles? Like imagine that.
absolutely.
Like so Comix Zone, but in full 3D, a little bit what we see in Spider-Verse, that would be absolutely sensational.
That's kind of what Spider-Man 2 does in several bits. Did you play Spider-Man 2?
I didn't play enough of it. I was only like 5 hours or so in.
Really? Holy shit, man!
Yeah, other things took precedent at the time. Not quite sure why.
Like what?
Life.
No. It's really fucking good, man.
Yeah, I do need to. I do want to go back because I bloody loved the previous two.
The stuff that he did with the Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some really cool stuff in that game, and as I said, like people were saying at the time, it was that Ratchet and Clank stuff.
Clunk, yeah.
There's a reason why I'm saying that. That one was an accident though. Taking that stuff and then sort of improving it in Spider-Man it's pretty amazing. It's play that game. I like that game.
But maybe if you want a full kind of Spider-Verse style stuff, we'll have to wait for PS5 Pro.
Well, I think it's coming.
Nah.
I
I don't think it's a technical limitation. I think it's just the sake of having to devise numerous different art styles and potentially like
AI,
different...
mate.
That's true. Yeah,
AI.
it's get a computer.
Chat GPT it.
Yeah. Easy.
I want to play Comix Zone now. This looks great. I'm just watching gameplay footage. It looks incredible. I can't believe this is the first time I've ever heard of this game.
Well, it was
crazy.
one of those games that came at like the latter end of like the Mega Drive era. It was
Yeah, I
like,
remember people loving it in official Sega magazine.
Yeah. All right then.
Serious Chris says, lads, what is your most unexpectedly scary moment in a non-horror game? For me, it's the Redeads in Ocarina of Time.
Oh God, I've referenced
he's right
it
though,
before.
isn't he? The sound of those things is horrific.
Horrible.
What are the
Yeah.
Redeads? Were
In,
they
in what game?
It's the zombies.
Oh, the zombies.
In what game, James?
In Ocarina of Time.
Oh, bloody,
Nice.
you're getting too good at that now.
I've
No,
told
it's
him
not
the,
fun
I've
anymore, is
given him
it?
the key.
Yeah,
Given him the
David
key.
did give me the key for this.
Oh, Dave, you've ruined it.
Cocarina.
I want to helping a friend out. The bloody dinosaur in the level of Mario Odyssey. That's horrible. The kids
Yeah.
hated that. They
Yeah.
fucking love Mario Odyssey, and then all of a sudden they're down in a forest where they can't see anything, and a massive T-Rex comes and runs after them. They hated that. I don't want to. I remember Harry when he was playing it. When he was a lot younger, he used to go down into the forest and then go. And I'd have to take the pad off him and get him back up the vine thing there because it was.
It's weird
Yeah.
what sets kids off, isn't it?
Well, that's not weird though. Like
Yeah,
I'd love to know what the thing. Right, this is
Well, the
kids
dragon
absolutely love Mario.
Was horrible in that
Absolute-
as well.
Yeah, the dragon's pretty bad in that, but that's not too bad. But then I'd love to be in a meeting. Right, we got this great family game. It's shaping up to be one of the best Mario games of all time. Everyone loves it. But Barry's got an idea. What's your idea, Barry? What about they fall down into a really dark forest and there's a T-Rex just wandering around, and if it sees you, it chases after you? Right, but aren't the kids going to
sorry,
shit
I
themselves?
thought you meant the T-Rex in the first.
No, the one that's in the forest, in like the dark forest, where you can hear it like walking about.
I
in the
never
background.
really
It's horrible.
explored down there because I was too scared.
You were too scared, really?
Well, it was at the time I was like, well, I was enjoying the above ground stuff, so I don't really.
Oh, what, like Mr. I Love the
change your
Depths
tune?
Bell?
But yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, maybe I should go back.
Yeah,
The
well, I did
plastic
all the
depths fan.
moons, didn't I?
No,
So
there's-
you had to go down there, and it's
Fake
actually
fan.
quite horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But there you go. That's my answer to that question.
My answer's easy.
Anyone else?
It's when you get chased in Celeste, like the first
Oh,
boss in
Oh, yeah,
Celeste.
You're
yeah,
weird
yeah.
with being chased, aren't you?
I hate being chased, and that fucked me up. I hated it.
I'm surprised that fucked you up, though. Do you
I just
remember
don't
the,
like being. I just hate being chased. Hate it.
What is it about it? Is the
There's
so
not some
behind me-
actual. There's no actual trauma behind this, is there?
Well, I
I
do
feel bad that
remember,
we're
I do remember
probing.
being chased by a dog, and I was scared that was going to bite me when I was really young. And I ran to my front door and I was like, "Mum, open the door!" And I was like crying and all sorts. So maybe it's that.
There we go.
Could be that.
Yeah, no, I think
That's
that's
that one.
definitely that. Actually,
Yeah,
Matt,
probably
yeah.
that,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ever since then-
Although
I was wondering if it was this really traumatic experience when I was a kid and being chased. Yeah, I think it might be that.
Yeah, it
I
might
think
be that,
we
yeah.
might.
Although, to be fair, Shigeru Miyamoto had the same experience and he invented a fun character. So, you know,
what have I done in my life?
yeah, we'll go over it.
Yeah, well, yeah. And since then I don't like. And I think the something behind me. I'm not quite sure where they are. How close are they? Horrible.
James, you don't get scared, do you?
Well, that's
Hey,
the
lad.
problem because I'm just thinking about like from non. I mean, Gears of War doesn't count as a non-horror game, does it?
It's not horror,
Yeah,
is
it's not
it?
horror.
Because
Action.
there was an enemy in that really turned my skin.
Marcus
I
Phoenix.
really,
Centipede
really
one.
like it. I think it was in the centipede. That centipede.
That was free, I think.
It was
War
horrible.
Giant
that thing
worm.
was.
Yep.
Sinking cities with a giant worm.
No. It's the centipedes, the glowing orange centipede things that used to come out of the
Okay.
ground.
Yeah.
Like
It's the way they
yeah,
moved.
that
was like
that third one was weird, wasn't it? That was the one with all the orange gunge, wasn't it?
yeah.
You were just going,
Gunge.
what's all this? Yeah, it was like they thought, hey, we're gonna do something cool that you've not seen before. and
Yeah,
it was
we've
just
seen Noel's
gunge.
house party.
Yeah, we've seen
Quick.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Gunge tank.
Gunges. Yes, you didn't need to say that bit, Matt. We got it.
Tanks
We
of Gunge.
I think mine's got to go to the black head crabs in Half-Life 2. Fuck those guys. Jesus
Oh man,
Christ.
any head crab in Half-Life.
You see, I could deal with the normal ones, but for some reason the black ones just absolutely set
Because
me
they had
off.
thinner legs, didn't they?
Did they? I don't remember.
Sharper, thinner legs.
They were
I
yeah.
remember they were more
spidery,
dangerous
weren't
as
they?
well, and they had like a
Yeah.
different noise. I remember it used to
Ticking.
set me off so badly. There was I should probably look this up at some point, but it sort of went away by itself, so it's probably fine. There's about a year of my life where if something really like stressed me out, like immediately, like it was like a proper fight or flight response, I'd get this feeling down my back like someone was like jamming pins in it.
Oh yeah, no, you get that. Yeah, it's like that.
Is that
hot
normal?
Sort of pins in it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've had that
Yeah.
before.
Okay, fine. Well, I used to get that with blackhead crabs and very little else.
Right.
So
For me, it was like road rage or so. If someone's shouting at me in the car, or whatever, sometimes
really?
I get all like hot. It's like really hot, and then like it's like
Yeah.
a prickly, the prickle
Yeah,
heat
yeah, yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's like that down the back.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I've
glad
had that
that's not as weird as
For me, it's when I had acupuncture. That was all right. Could have some work.
Give them a red for that.
Is over that, or is over that, David? Is over that, or was it acupuncture? I was like, do I do acupuncture or do a crowbar and saying, Sean, is it potentially related to the head crab incident you had as a child? So it is,
that would have
one
been
of them.
better.
I know,
That would have
well,
been better.
It
Wait,
would
if
be
I could
better.
turn back time, I would. If I
Right,
if I built a time machine,
I
it
could
wouldn't be
find
to
a
kill
way.
Hitler. It'd be to go about 15 seconds and change the gag.
Because
I mean, I
he's got a
can
red, does
edit
that
the show.
mean- Because he's got a red, does that mean that we don't have to have the socials this week?
Yeah.
But no one's going to watch your stream, James.
No one does anyway. I'm
No
not
one
bothered about
watches
that.
it anyway.
Sorry, there isn't a stream. Is there a stream? Who knows? You'll never know because there's no
Actually,
socials.
there isn't this week because I've got going away. So,
There's no socials.
They're going away again. I've never noticed. Like,
Where are you going
it's
this
I have
time?
to go
away
for
all the
work.
time.
What is
Okay.
wrong with you?
On a Friday?
Yes.
Probably not on the pod
Okay.
next week, either.
Yeah, I'm
Any
not.
more-
It's
I'm
you
gonna get on
know,
the phone to the
questions?
union, mate. I'm not having this.
Any
This is
more
the-
questions?
Yeah, we got one from MD Krabuffs.
the fuck? I mean, it's not my job, and it's like I get criticised for the fact that I have to go places.
This is
It's
your
like-
job.
I mean, to be fair, James, all you got to say is, sorry, Dave and Matt, when are your streams?
Well, I managed
Fair
one
point.
last Monday, actually, when you weren't here.
No one wants to
Okay.
see my streams anyway. They were shit.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Go
you're
on.
going to stream that Only Fools and Horses thing.
Oh, I might just stream every single Only Fools and Horses game. There's got to be more, haven't there? There's
Probably
got to be like
about
an Atari one.
Yeah, probably.
I'll have a look.
Okay,
All right, go on.
this is a random aside, but Dave, are you not going to play the new Power Wash Sim DLC that is, the Warhammer stuff?
Ooh, that was a weird sentence, wasn't it? It sort of went on all sorts of twists.
Yeah,
and
I
did.
can't
turns,
remember
that
what
one.
I was trying to say. Have you played
Am
it
I
yet? Are
going
you
to
gonna
play it? Yeah, I'll probably play it at some point. Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't know if I'll stream it.
good.
I
Maybe
might
you
do. That's good. I might do. I might pop on at some point. But you know what it's like. Me, I'm a man in demand. I can't just suddenly commit to a stream. No, I'm all over the place. I'm like jazz.
I will definitely
Uh,
get back in streaming at some point in the next.
Okay,
A
right.
few months.
So, did you do that thing to ask a question so you could talk about yourself? Is that?
No, and I didn't care about your streaming. I just want to know if you played it, given you don't care about Warhammer.
Oh yeah, but I played.
does a
I
bit.
did the Final Fantasy one. I think it was
Good
shit
point,
about
you hate
Final
that shit.
Fantasy.
Actively dislikes that.
Yeah, it was weird. I was cleaning like some really cool tank, and then a cat just walked past. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
You blast it.
Yeah, it did.
MD
you blast
Kraboff says, once in a public toilet, I let off an aggressively loud fart that caused a stranger to announce that he could have dried his hands under that. What do you have misplaced pride in?
Oh wow!
Well,
This
misplaced-
podcast.
Yeah. I was once sick in a public toilet in Manchester Piccadilly Station, and the guy in the cubicle next to me went, "Fucking hell."
the one that I heard was
Dirty.
I was in the toilet. Like, I was in the toilet, and there was
Are all
one of
these
the-
about toilets or?
No, we're doing toilet.
Just do
stories
toilet
at the moment.
stories. Fuck it.
Yeah, we'll just do toilet stories.
Yeah.
I was having a wee at the urinal and the cubicle was closed, but I didn't know anyone was in there. And then I heard a little kid about probably about 4 years old go, "Why are you touching my willy?" And then the bloke going, "Because I'm your dad. I am your dad, and I'm wiping because I don't want it. I am your father." And
Fine.
I was
Just
like,
Oh, man.
all right, mate, but I am calling the police, so
Yeah.
Just in
Yeah,
case.
about that. Yeah, yeah. You got any toilet stories, James? I bet you're in them all the time, and yeah.
Well, yeah. I
Looking for
mean,
glory
no, I don't
holes?
want to talk about this. It's embarrassing.
Okay,
No, go on.
go on.
You can't.
No, no.
You can't do that, James. You got to
Yeah,
tell
no,
us
you
now.
can't do
It's
that.
like the biscuit story all over again.
No, I remember one time when I was living in China, I really badly needed the toilet, and so I went to a toilet in a McDonald's, and it was really, like when you're in real pain and you're going to the toilet.
Mhm.
And so I was doing that, and then this person kept on just banging on the door because they wanted the toilet, and I just remember just shouting, "Fuck off!" like really loud,
I wish we had audio of that.
which was great. It was yeah, so that was fun.
And did
I'm
they?
getting,
They did actually, yes.
Yeah.
They stopped banging on the
getting,
door.
I'm getting like this is bonus material stuff, but I'm getting like really aggressively angry. I think there should be a law in this country. I think I've said it on the pod before. I think it should be a law in this country where if you have a public shop, if you've got a shop or whatever, and it's got a toilet, then you just got to let people use it. Like that is just like a basic human right, right? And I had a moment a couple of weeks back with the kids where I just walked into a Starbucks and put them in. Charlie needed the toilet. Just walked into a Starbucks straight away, chucked him in the toilet, come out, and one of the members of staff went, "Well, this is for paying customers only, the toilet." And I just went, yeah, he doesn't really like coffee, mate. Like pointed at Charlie. The people in the queue laughed. I was like, I got away with that one. But yeah, no, just here's my advice: just go to the toilet. If
Yeah,
they ever
you're
go at
right.
you on the way out, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
What
too
are they
late. You've
gonna
done
do?
it.
You're going to be
Well,
so
I've been now, I've just had
euphoric
a
from just
week, so-
having had the piss that you were desperate for. You're just going to be like, "Oh, whatever, mate. I'm walking out now." Bye.
Exactly. Come on, if I was running for Prime Minister. Right, are we
Probably
done?
could. It's pretty much
think
an
we're probably
open
done.
goal at the moment, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? Fucking hell. Okay, socials, Matt.
We're not doing socials, are we?
We are. Don't get all funny about
all
it.
moody.
Oh, you guys. There's no streams this week.
Sean,
And that's all we've got time for.
Sean, are you streaming on Thursday then? Sean, you're not.
No, I'm not. No.
All right, well then I'll do Dark Souls 3 on Thursday instead.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll do that.
okay. There's a Dark Souls stream. Dark Souls
No,
stream
'cause I'm
Thursday.
enjoying it, so I want to do it. So yeah.
Lovely old job. Yeah, okay, that's Thursday night, 9 p.m. Twitch.tv/TCGS code. James will be streaming Dark Souls 3. If you missed his previous Dark Souls 3 streams, they're all on YouTube. In fact, like Friday's one will be up in the next like 20 minutes probably on YouTube. If you watch live and you have an Amazon account and a Twitch account, connect to your accounts, and you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming, where you get 1 free subscription to a channel you can give to anyone you want. Every single month, we want to go to our channel when James is streaming on Thursday and give us your free sub. We really, really appreciate everyone who does that. We're on Patreon, which is patreon.com/TCGS. If you love what we're doing and want to support us and also get some content your way, you can do that. We have an exclusive monthly bonus podcast where we talk about our thoughts and feelings about all sorts of bullshit. We do a video like talks over or stream, and as David mentioned in the beginning, we recently talked over Nintendo's 2010 E3 show, and we've got sorry, for this month, now we're all back together and well, and the thing has arrived. We're going to be doing a Sonic
versus Sonic.
Choose Your Own Adventure book. Sonic versus Sonic. We're going to be doing it sometime in March, obviously. The book's there in Sean's hands if you're watching this on YouTube. We'll be doing that live for Patreon supporters in March. So support us and you'll get to see that live. And the website is tcgs.co for links to our amazing Discord community, which gets bigger and better every single day. Thank you for those who have joined recently. Socials, podcast store, it's all on the website.
I'll tell you, someone's actually already written in this.
Oh,
Oh,
is it
no.
you?
Wasn't me. No, we can still use it. It's fine.
We can follow their journey.
All right, we thank you for living it, and we also expect to see you back here same time, same place next week. And if you're not, then go fuck yourself.
There we
All
go.
right.
The club can't watch it ever again. Sorry.
Yeah, goodbye everyone.
Bye.
Love you, bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.